Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? I'm here with my special guests, Nick Lenz and Taladia Plays. How you doing, gentlemen?
I'm good. What a week. What a week I can say. We've had the
I'm good.
Deadpool trailer. Oh,
I'm looking forward. The only trailer I've seen for Deadpool Wolverine is one they usually release in the Super Bowl. But I was checking the calendar for releases for MCU this year. That's the only one this year coming out.
That is
and
true.
they released another trailer a couple of days
Really?
ago. Yeah,
Yes,
you got it.
yes, Movie Theater King, this will be a closed stream tonight.
Yes, because this will be the first time since 2012 we've had only one movie released. And guess what movie came out in 2012?
Aven-
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yep, that was the last time. This time it's like, oh, let's have a team between Deadpool and Wolverine. Which I heard Rob Liefeld mentioning on Twitter, like, man, Jackman looks fantastic. I mean, I've seen, well, if pictures I've seen him. I mean, the man that definitely got back into shape since he last did Wolverine. What was it, 2017?
He looks good. He looks good. Not gonna lie.
I think he's almost 60, isn't he?
58, I want to say 58.
Yeah, but pretty close to it. But who would have thought a man put about that age would look in that good of a shape? The only actor I've seen that it's like that is Sylvester Stallone.
That is also true. But any
I
recommendations?
can't say if he really keeps in shape anymore. Does he?
I don't think so. I think he's taken a relative step back, at least from what I've seen.
But at least he's keep his cardio up.
But any current comic recommendations before we get to the solicitations, or you want to save that for after?
Well, I did get a chance to read Wonder Woman, the new Wonder Woman issue.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm like, I really want to punch this guy in the face for what he did to Wonder Woman. Because I wanted her to say this. Really? You using brainwashing things on me? Dr. Psycho is a better brainwasher than you are. That or have Steve Trevor beat the living crap out of this guy. Because
Nick.
that's what this guy deserves. A
Yeah.
big beating from Steve Trevor. Or from
Let
Wonder
him
Woman.
let him get out of his system. We had to put up with this for
Yeah.
8 issues monthly. Just let him have it. Let him
Okay,
have it.
okay. I was
Now-
gonna say something.
This guy is probably by far the most, probably to date, the most useless character Tom King has ever introduced in comics. Do you think so?
I would argue Kite Man's a close second, but you make a fair point.
Hyman technically wasn't the creation. He predated him. He basically existed from '70. He's an old C-list villain that Tom King loved playing with. I heard Scott Snyder, he liked playing with Crazy Quilt, but Crazy Quilt wasn't around very much in the current continuity.
No, Crazy Quilt. You saw some references here and there, but Crazy Quilt, they barely do
appeared
anything.
toward the end of Snyder's run for Batman.
At the very end. I believe it was like a cameo. I don't even think he got a full arc to himself. I think it was just a cameo.
Yeah, but I think the one character who Tom King did bring back that has been nobody's saying anything since then. You ever have a character called Film Freak?
Deep cut. Deep cut.
Yes. Film Freak, those who don't know who the heck this guy is, this is a guy who does stuff via films. And this was a guy who indirectly got Hardbuck to become a good guy. Because when Hardbuck first showed up, the guy was a crooked cop, and he wanted to ruin. Basically, he was in the police force to ruin Jim Gordon's reputation. And Film Freak, it was real during that first story arc of how much, basically, that Hardbuck loves old school movies.
Interesting. You never. I've only seen him in 2 stories.
And you might find probably the most weirdest villain who's occasionally appeared since then. You're like, really? You're throwing people with this stuff? The Condiment King. Tom King brought him back too. And like, so here with mustard, ketchup. I'm like his whole thing is basically running people's attire. Like, probably by far the biggest joke villain Batman has, aside from Calendar Man. At least Calendar Man is a little more decently written over let's say, Calendar Man. Calendar Man is more serious. He's been serious since Jeff Loeb's, since Time Sales redesign from Jeff Loeb's Long Halloween.
That is true. I will give
All right.
you that.
So, Nick, you don't mind me if I show you something
Okay.
about Kingdom Come?
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
And it's nothing of the guy who writes that writes this book.
Yes. Mark Waid. That's why I picked it up. I picked up for not only for World's Finest, but because I need to read the. I need to pick up anything that's related to
I-
Superman Legacy or
yeah,
Superman. And the thing is, World's Finest as well. I'm thinking about picking that up as for a birthday treat. That's something I'm gonna pick up for a
yeah, and the
birthday.
cover artist for that miniseries, Alex Ross. I think he was the interior artist as well.
Yes.
Um, he's currently doing the covers for Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, and Immortal Thor.
I believe
Well,
so. There might
I,
be.
I think that's it because he was doing Iron Man. The
He
previous one,
was.
the current one is not him. It's different artists now.
No,
But
he left Iron Man. I believe he
yeah,
left Iron
he
Man
left
3
when the
issues
previous,
ago.
when the writer left. But it's like, have you noticed in the past 10 years he's on the cover art for almost every single major Marvel series, except for the X books.
Pretty much. Now that you think about it.
He didn't do Black Widow. He didn't do any Hawkeye book published in the last several years. Um, I mean, the last big book he did do. I mean, he did all 50 issues of Incredible Hulk, Immortal Hulk, all 50
Yeah,
issues of that book. Which that is probably by far is probably his longest book he worked on in the last several years.
I agree.
Of course, he also did the Marvels. He did like the brief revival ongoing series that was, which lasted 12 issues. Not sure why it got canceled for. It's like Marvel launched these really good titles and they get axed like a year, despite how good they are.
As for Tevye, to answer your question, yes, I am reading Ultimate Spider-Man. It is an actual improvement compared to what we're getting with Zeb Wells' run, but that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah,
As for Tom King's Wonder Woman run, and I'll probably go into more detail in my DCAU Fury video, you had so much potential with the story. Say what you will about about Sovereign, the setup, and the backups. Say what you will about that, but you had potential with the story. A wounded and with child Amazon going on a warpath and starting an international incident. The controversy, the vitriol, the pain, the trauma. There's a story to be told here. Granted, after Heroes in Crisis, I can understand how Tom King wanted to play it safe. But why set that up? If you were going to chicken out, why set it up?
did you read the most recent issue of Green Arrow?
Yes, I did with Malcolm Merlin. Nice.
Not just that. Waller sent, I know it's a bit of a spoiler. Waller sent Ollie to go to a Justice League bunker to retrieve the AI from Sanctuary. Yep.
I don't
And
know if this is
this is
percentage of
Joshua
purpose.
Williamson doing this. He basically brought this back. Like I think a lot of people are like, really, Josh? You bring it back the stuff from Sanctuary, the most hated story, one of the most hated stories for recent memory, a story that Tom King got death threats for, and you want to have Oliver to go retrieve this for Waller. Like, and then of course the issue ends with the Justice League showing up. Which when I read the issue, I'm like, wait, weren't they disbanded after Dark Crisis?
Yeah, but this current issue and spoilers for Green Arrow issue number 8 or 9, I believe. I think we're on 8. But
I didn't read
spoilers.
to this issue that came out. That was the previous issue that came out. That was issue. I think it was issue. I think 9 came out today, didn't it?
Yes, I want to say issue 9. But
Yes.
spoilers for issue 9. Basically, their hologram is security measure, and Oliver is very low tech in this fight. Let me just say that. But I just feel like this run
Probably
should have
Roy
stayed.
was hiding there for some reason.
I just feel like this run should have stayed as originally greenlit for as a miniseries. Granted, it is good, but if you expand from a miniseries to an ongoing, they're inevitably going to burn out, and the quality will suffer for it.
Not in the case of Superman. Superman's doing really good.
I agree, especially House of Brainiac is off to a great start. Now,
Yeah,
the power.
I read the opening issues, but damn, I'm enjoying this. Like the fact that in part 2 Lobo shows up. I know a bit of spoiler for recent stuff, but yeah, I'm glad Lobo was involved with this. Just we already knew about this via the solicits, and I'm surprised no one's asked Lobo, hey, Lobo, you do realize though you're not the last Cesarian anymore. You can stop calling yourself that because you basically Brainiac just unleashed a bunch of your people. And also, one of the coolest things about this storyline is that Williamson brought back every single Brainiac seen in comics. The only one we did not see was one from the animated series and the live action Smallville. But everyone featured in comics from the 60s onward, because I saw the 60s Brainiac here, the original with the beard,
Yeah.
who was actually a robot. They revealed it kind of years later, because apparently the one who Jeff Johns and John Byrne introduced in Brainiac, that apparently is Brainiac Prime, and everybody else is all other Brainiacs. The Queen Brainiac has not been introduced yet in the story, but and I think Future Brainiac was seen for a cameo, but damn, like I think Williamson, he must really love Superman, because this is a very good Superman story. And they also have a revelation about the Lex Luthor hologram. The first pops up issue 1. They reveal exactly who actually put that there, because it'll be surprising. I don't want to spoil that. Let's see what else. I still think basically that if Power Girl is going to continue her ongoing series, she should wear her real costume, not the outfit she wears in Action Comics.
Her Power Girl tie-in is the weakest of the bunch so far. I will not dismiss that. It is definitely a one-off story.
I'm curious when Crusher's going to show up.
Doesn't she show up in in the tie-in that came out this week?
I don't know, because I haven't read the rest issue yet, but the last issue I read, she didn't show up yet.
Okay, because I know she shows up in one of the tie-ins.
Yeah, and apparently also Green Lantern War Journal had I think it was Green Lantern. It was and a backup feature that basically was a tie-in to this event, just one issue, and that was it. Interesting, the fact of a backup feature for Green Lantern for this, which I would not think basically they think involving Green Lantern in a Superman story, but last time I can think of they did this was I think last time was Reign the Superman.
Something along those lines. But
Because
before we get
I think it was the last special time that this happened. But that was a tie-in. But
that is true.
In the case that one, that was part of the main story. This one was just a tie-in.
Yes, and that went on to set up, I believe, Emerald Twilight. Was it Emerald Twilight or Emerald
Yes.
Dawn?
Yeah. Twilight. Emerald Dawn was basically too many series done by the man who recently came out of prison for what we're not going to speak of it, basically, because it's the same thing the writer Sir Kent was charged with. But he got fined. The guy got, we can mention Earl Jones, but we're not going to mention his charge, because it's something we probably should not be talking about, because it's disgusting.
Agreed.
I mean, Gerald Jones, no denying, the guy was a fantastic writer. He wrote great comics. They're funny, but what he did was stupid. The real life stuff was stupid. The work was good.
But before we actually move on to the solicitations itself, I just want to acknowledge these two questions. Tevia asked J Heat Blaze a question: any opinion on Cy Spurrier's Flash run? Because I reviewed the latest issue on my channel, and my God, it is not a fun book. So confusing, and it makes no sense in my opinion. I understand Cy Spurrier using a horror aesthetic, but it just goes on. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. So if you enjoy the book, please, with a grain of salt.
So the recent issue, the artwork was very weird, because I think Mike Dell was supposed to be the interior artist of this book, because I think he may have skipped this, because this is a recent issue was not his artwork, because this looked completely different from what I'm used to for him. I think this is a fill-in artist.
This had to be, because the art is a little wonky, and it does set up.
Everybody's faces look so thin.
It does, and then it does set, and it tries to set up absolute power, but still address all the cosmic stuff with the Speed Force, why it's turning against the speedsters for some reason. And I'm just like, Spurrier, you're not going to have time for this, especially with the time crunch absolute power is giving you. Either speed it up or wrap it up, one or the other.
The best person who can handle crossovers like this was Chuck Dixon, because
I agree.
Because he mentioned on his podcast that whenever crossover came up, and even though he wanted this story, but he had to this tie-in. So what he did for Nightwing, he did a standalone issue, just to basically just do whatever, and then had the tie-in, and then had the story afterward, which is the story involving Huntress. Like, go from how he does it, because he at least knew how to handle crossovers really well. I'm not sure everybody else handled it, but from what he described himself, he was a workaholic. He basically, he described once on his podcast, he basically put out the first 12 issues of Nightwing in 1 month. Like, he wrote all the scripts, and basically all I have to do, which is the artwork and corrections. It's Mike Aldridge's. I think it's Space Age, isn't it?
I want to
The,
say so.
Yeah, I read the first issue of this. This was quite interesting. I did read also the 2 issues of The Batman by Dan Jurgens. Interesting.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes. Absolute Power, Ground Zero.
Written
Mark
by
Waid,
one-
Josh Williamson, Nicole Mans, and Chip. Nicole Mans. Is that the art? Is that the actress who plays Dreamer?
Yes. And
So
Chip
we have-
Zdarsky.
Yeah. So we have 3 regular writers and an actress write this story.
Yep.
And the
Gleb
artwork.
Melnikoff, great artist, nothing against him.
Skylar Pertridge, I'm not familiar with him, and V. Cameron, and of course the cover are done by the awesome Dan Moria. Like, it's like everybody basically is drooling over the fact that his artwork. Like, have you noticed that?
I have noticed that. To be fair, they don't have a lot of contracted artists right now, and Dan Moore is definitely the best they have. So
I think
you got
because I think either on the Substack or Ghost Machine.
one or the other. I know a lot of people who have actually gone to Substack, including Nick Spencer, and let's just say, editorial spite aside, that was not letting Nick Spencer go was not your smartest play. You can save face all you want, but letting Nick Spencer go was foolish. At least in my opinion.
Yeah. As DC Universe races for absolute power, Blitzkrieg, the key to capturing metahuman power on planet Earth, will at last be unlocked, bridging the events of Batman, Superman, House of Brainiac, and Suicide Squad Dream Team. This oversized Ground Zero brings Waller's total dominance to the doorsteps of the world's finest heroes, using the combined might of Failsafe, Brainiac Queen, and the Suicide Squad to do it. Witness years of storytelling culminate, brought to you by Absolute Power architect Mark Waid and artists behind the Trinity of Evil, Chip Zdarsky, Nicole Mans, and Josh Williamson. I gotta admit, that's actually really good solicit.
It is, and the Amazo League, nice touch. Though, if you have all the stuff with Sovereign with Tom King, and despite being called the Bureau of Sovereignty, Wonder Woman does not, or you don't have a Wonder Woman counterpart in the Trinity of Evil. It's almost as if due to synergy, Waller and the Suicide Squad completely snubbed Diana's role, or at least Diana's contribution to this dynamic, if that makes sense. Am I clear?
Probably. I'm hoping that this event does not put Batman Superman Once in hiatus or cancel it. I hope it does, because that book is basically still like hotcakes right now.
Oh, this is their saving grace. If we're counting sales, let's be honest.
The opening issue done by Absolute Power #1, written by Mark Waid and art and cover by Dan Moria. Variant covers: Jim Lee, Stephen Bliss, Puppeteer Lee. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe he's related to Jim Lee. Chris Simney, interesting. Chris Sill and more. Rise UV variant cover by Wes Craig. And connecting variant cover by John Timms.
The Trinity of Evil has won. DC's epic summer event kicks off with a bang, as the combined might of Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen has at last given Amanda Waller the ability to steal the metahuman abilities of every hero and villain on planet Earth. As chaos erupts in the streets and a massive misinformation campaign sways public opinion to her side, the founder of the Suicide Squad methodically targets each superhero dynasty one at a time, starting with Superman. But even in this darkest of hours, a resistance is forming, and Batman is out for vengeance.
You might as well get rid of the banner, by the way.
It's a shocking blitzkrieg across the globe that is decades in the making and will shape the course of the DC universe for years to come. Brought to you by the superstar talents of Mark Waid and Dan Mora. It all
The way that solicit
starts.
sounds, I know that you're saying that this is a take on the Cannabis arc from Justice League. I would say it's also a take on Legends by John Byrne, John Ostrander, and Lean.
Oh, I definitely see that. Don't get me wrong. And you good, Claudia? You can see?
Yeah, I can see now. Yeah.
Okay.
Batman 150.
How do you guys want absolute power, absolute universe to feel and be like? from what we know from rumors, it's an Elseworld, but I would not be surprised if this is a repeat of the New 52 where it's a complete reboot. I am still
Yeah,
skeptical.
it'd be a new 52 mixed with All Star. That's what I'm getting at.
Hopefully published alongside, not reboot the main universe.
And to answer your questions, oh, go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Because the Marvel did alternate universe, they published alongside the main universe, and both did perfectly fine.
And to answer your question, Tevia, synergy, especially if James Gunn's DCU gets off the ground.
Yep.
But back to solicitations. Now, where was I? Oh, yes.
Batman
50. Written
First
by
150 released, I believe, since the 50s. I think it was 50s last time I saw 150 for Batman.
Interesting.
Because that came just before the new look Batman published in the Silver Age. Though people think Silver Age Batman, like 327. No, that's new look Batman. Before that, it was the most bizarre stuff you could think of. Batman in zebra suit. Batman in basically a rainbow-tired suit, battling aliens every issue. And you're thinking, that doesn't look like Batman, even though it is Batman.
Yes, not all the campy aspects of the Silver Age were Silver Age stories. There were some Golden Age stories sprinkled in that catalog too. Granted,
Yes.
late Golden Age stories, but Golden Age stories nonetheless.
Yeah, it's known as the weird years. Zardesky with Jorge Jimenez, Dennis Cohen. Zardesky's backup, Mike Hawthorne doing the backup. Jorge Jimenez doing the cover art. Variant covers by Dustin Nugent, Mattia De Luz, Chris Simic, Trios Cones, and artist spotlight variant cover by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, one of the greatest artists of our time, and I've met this guy. One of the nicest guys to me in person.
A milestone issue featuring art by the legendary Dennis Cohen from The Question and series regular.
Yeah, that book was written by the late Denny O'Neil, which is entirely in trade, published twice. First in Series 6 volumes, and their time in Omnibus, which collected the annuals of the book. Go on.
Thank you, Nick, for the trivia. In series regular, Jorge Jimenez, when a 2-bit crook uncovers Batman's true identity, he becomes the most dangerous man in Gotham City. Can Batman stop him before it's too late? Does he even want to? Plus, an absolute power backup story by Chip Zdarsky and Mike Hawthorne, teaming up Batman and Catwoman for the heist of their lives against Amanda Waller.
At least you can appreciate this has nothing to do with failsafe.
Yeah, that's what Dark Prison is for. Hopefully that'll be wrapped up by the time Absolute Power kicks off.
Joker of the World. Love that cover.
I believe this is this a collection or an anthology series?
I think it's a one-shot.
Oh, it's a one-shot. Okay.
But it's $25. I think it's one of these oversized graphic novels. Written by Jeff Johns, David Rubin, Torsten Sutter. I'm sorry for mispronouncing these names. Enrico Brazili, Felipe Calillo, Alvaro Bongrila, Stefan Korfa, Matin Akaner, Sosishi Makawa, Epel John, Matthias Tomartai, Dr. Job Gallus, and Thomas Kalachak. I'm sorry for mispronouncing names who was on this cover besides Jeff Johns. Your name is very difficult to pronounce. Art by Jason Fabok, Dave Rubin. Some people, Iga Roman, Paulo Badari, Tenan Rucci, Oscar Benito, Michael Sakshank, Etham Osser Kasagatu, Jacque Park, Sherman Perdita, Batrad Mazabus, and Jake Makatsky. Covered by Jason Fabok.
Again, apologies if we have butchered or mispronounced any of those names.
I think a lot of the way those names sound, it seems like a lot of the people who did this, they must be Spanish, German, or probably some people who are not English. Because The only family names I see in this book is Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. Nothing against anybody else who work on this book. It's just that we apologize. Your names are hard to pronounce. I did the best I can. So please, if anybody knows these people, please do not criticize me on how to pronounce these people's names because we're doing the best we can. These names are hard to pronounce, so do what you will.
Gotham's Clown Prince of Crime goes global in this worldwide anthology. Joker the World. Okay, it is an anthology. Okay. This 184-page book for $25, that's practically a steal. Book will feature Joker story.
DC really does this when they do these oversized graphic novels.
Will feature Joker stories by creative teams from 13 different countries, showcasing how the Joker has truly inspired chaos on a global scale. This original Joker project launches worldwide on September 17th, 2024, and the complete anthology will be localized to the following international territories: Spain, Germany, Italy, Brazil, Mexico, the Czech Republic, Turkey, Japan, Korea, North America, Argentina, Cameroon, and Poland. What does the Joker do when on holiday in Spain? How has he inspired others to follow in his footsteps, creating Joker duplicates in Germany and Turkey? How does a Joker in Cameroon find inspiration? Only the top writers and artists from each country can tell these stories about the world's best-known villain, who happens to have a movie coming out in October. Yeah, this is the Synergy Project. Let's call it for what it is.
And it's something that they'll mention France because France has their own Joker, believe it or not. Popped up for one issue of Batman and Robin. The only issue of the entire first volume not in trade because how bizarre the artwork is. It was by David Hayne. The guy's called The Man Who Laughs. That's the name of the guy. And you look at him, he's like, yeah, he is obviously a French Joker ripoff. It's not. It also featured the controversial French Muslim character Night Runner. Ooh, I love this cover. The Superman symbol looks a lot like Golden Age Superman, but with the black inside the S.
Now you mention it, I have noticed it. Oh, bloody.
Gail Simone and Rainbow Rowell. Okay. I read an article recently of why Gail Simone is back doing comics. Apparently, a few years ago, she stopped doing comics altogether. Burnout. And then she was lower back doing X-Men. Now she's doing action comics? Well, here's the thing. Not the first time she's did comics.
That is true.
Yes. The first time she did action comics is when she introduced to the comic universe the comic version of Livewire. So you can thank Gail Simone for that. Rainbow Rowell, well, she is a good writer. She's a very good writer for She-Hulk, and she was most recent writer for Runaways. So
I'm still skeptical, man. I'm still skeptical when it comes to Gail Simone's work. That's just my personal opinion. Do what you will.
Think it's because of the last work she did?
I would say that's a factor, but that's just it's just my personal preference when it comes to creators.
What was the last book she officially worked on? Like prior to the recent stuff we have here, I think last book I can think of she worked on with maybe Domino,
New 52 Batgirl. She worked on that for a while before she was back.
I think Domino. I think it was back in what was it 20? It was like a very short-lived series, like 10 issues. A brief return from Marvel. It was like 2017. She did Clean Room. That was like the last book I could think of she did. Eddie Burrows, good artist who did Regular Insect Comics. Contomery cover also by Danny Miki. Which here's a fun fact about Danny Miki. Anybody who knows this doesn't know this? He got his start in comics thanks to Rob Liefeld.
Really?
Yes, he's one of Rob Liefeld's proteges. From what I can tell, he is very happy the fact he still gets work nowadays. So you can thank Rob Liefeld for introducing to comics Danny Miki, because he was one of his artists for Extreme Studios before he did Batman. Long before he did Batman. So he's doing inky work for a long time. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rob Liefeld.
Thank you for better or for worse. But cheap dig aside, Taladia, you want to take this one?
Absolute Power.
No,
we're still on Superman 1067.
Okay,
I think it's Action Comics.
Action Comics, excuse me.
Okay, Superman and the Challengers from the Stars. Superman fights for two worlds. when a massive, powerful alien races makes Earth the arena. Superman stands alone against impossible challenges that threaten locations all around the world, and lives of those he loves. Uh, a not to be missed epic tale of Superman's strength, wit, and resourcefulness in an early stage of his public career. Thus, New York Times bestselling author Rainbow Rowell makes a DC debut and takes on the most powerful woman in Superman's life, Lois Lane. I have to
That's
put
so
it in there.
interesting. I'm interested in that
I have
because
to put that emphasis in there. She's a lame, not, and she's not the most powerful woman in DC.
I mean she's about woman Superman's life.
No, not in Superman's life. No, she's not. Wonder Woman is.
Dude,
That's a fact.
what
I
should
have
come
to put
after the
that in there.
Bronte? I'll let you have your moment, Teladia, especially considering Jared posted a Wonderbat commentary, which I never thought I'd live to see the day. So I'll let you have your fun. But if I had to make a guess on what would be the new, we're currently in the Iron Age right now, or a lot of people, or at least people in the indie scene, say that it's considered the Iron Age of comics. But at least that's from what I've seen. As for Rothfeld, granted, Rothfeld peaked in the 90s. I want to say he peaked in 97, 96, 97.
Mhm.
By the time the 21st century rolled around, the guy completely fell off. I'm not going to say he's bad. I'm not going to say he's great. He's just aggressively mid.
Yeah, and he also mentioned on his podcast of how Image fell off in the late 90s. You want to know why? Skin mags. Image needed to have $60,000 published per month to keep their overhead, so they published skin magazines. That's what Rob Liefeld mentioned in his podcast. That was the only way Image Comics stayed afloat, and he left Image Comics in 95 purely because basically it wasn't exactly how like stuff had changed per se. You know, the people were still there who have found the company is Tom McFarlane and Eric Larson. Everyone else is either because Jim Lee's over at DC, Mark Silvestri is semi-retired, Devantino is retired. I'm trying to think who was the other artist who founded. Liefeld's retired writing Deadpool, but he still gets work here and there. If anyone's ever read Deadpool Bad Blood, it's good miniseries. The first, second one he did. Mostly put it just basically love it to his fans who love his work from the 90s. Because there's X-Force, Shatterstar, everybody's with Marvel.
That is true.
Yes,
That
is that
is true.
I think that's supposed to be Cyborg Superman with a different logo.
Nope, that is a Mazo Shazam, or at least that's I want to say that. Yeah, that is amazing.
I was thinking because basically it was a recent issue where I think I did see Cyborg Superman showed up in the book where I think it was in some Superman book he showed up and like he didn't do much. Basically, it was all Mazo. It was where basically I think it was an actually it was finance where he showed up and turns out basically he was in control of a Maze 2.0.
But he also made an appearance during the Death of the Superman 30th anniversary special. He did make an appearance. So, yeah, they did include, but that's obvious. Lee Williams, she's always been hit or miss in my opinion, but this is a tie-in issue, so hey.
Yeah, and also whenever she's done working at Marvel, her last book at Marvel was X Factor. Not Peter Davis X Factor, the one where it's the Krakoan team where they investigated deaths, people who actually did die, who were resurrected. That was most of what the seriously full potential because we got Axe of 10 issues. It was not that bad of a series per se, probably a lot better than the other stuff they were doing at the time. But the book ended led into the first Hellfire, which Hellfire had the death of Scarlet Witch, and she was brought back and brought back more people.
Task Force X7. Task Force 7, excuse me. Or at least, if I'm reading that right. I believe this is going to be a mini-series.
Yes. Did you read the final issue of Amazon's Attack?
I did. And although I did expect something like that, I kind of expected a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, it almost seems like that. I thought it was really weird that Mary Marvel was involved in this because aside from the fact that the Shazam power comes from the Greek gods, she has very little connection to Wonder Woman.
Well, she first. I mean, okay, if I remember correctly, this could have been either before Mark Waid's run or shortly after or around that time. But I believe after the whole 5G implosion in Titans Academy, Billy was the main one who ultimately got the powers of the Pantheon. Mary and the other Shazam kids were depowered, and then in Lazarus Planet, Mary got her powers from the Greek goddesses, and that's why she's associated with the Amazons. Because she did get a miniseries catered to herself. But was it a miniseries or was it ongoing that got canceled? Anyway,
She had a short-lived miniseries called New Chamber Shazam, done by the
Okay.
same person who did Amazon's Attack.
Oh, that's
Josie
right.
Campbell.
That's right. Billy was shelved for a couple of months after Titans Academy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he had a miniseries published by Tim Sheridan, written by him, same guy who wrote Titans Academy. It is mostly about him versus basically Necron from Underworld Unleashed.
Well, when you put it like that, that's pretty straight to the point. Wait, have we read the synopsis yet?
No.
Okay. Nick, you want to take this one?
Super no more. With the assault on Metropolis's heroes complete, Mandalorian's latest living weapon, the Last Son, sets his sights on the most powerful supers in DCU, the Mara family. Will the combined powers be up this terrifying threat? In this bi-weekly series, we will see absolute power through the eyes of evil as told from the point of view of Trinity Evil. Last Son, is that the Eradicator?
Either that or an Aquaman based Amazo.
Because that was basically Eradicator's Superman alias during Reign of Superman. He was called the Last Son. Because he technically didn't call himself Superman, he just called himself the Last Son. And people think Superman was Superman, then turns out he wasn't Superman. And of course, Superboy claimed he was Superman, but the only person in the Superman who did not claim he was Superman was Steel. He never claimed it. He wore the assets basically as respect for Superman.
Now, since we've come to this natural stopping point, let me go ahead and read some of the comments. J. Blaze question: will any of these ties actually matter in the long run? Usually, most of the time. Some tie-ins. Go ahead, Taladia.
No, sorry if I burst. Just wanted to apologize.
Oh, thank you. You're good. Some tie-ins can have an impact in an overall story, especially ones that are overly bloated. I'm looking at you, Night's End. Oh no, wait, not Night's End. Night Terrace.
Night Terrors.
Yeah.
40 freaking tie-ins.
And all of the 2-issue miniseries, except for the main book.
I can understand if you want to milk this out as much as possible. I can understand if it was you're trying to get your numbers up before the fiscal year. I can forgive all of that. But two major factors. One, the only two-parter. Most of your tie-ins were two-parters at most. And two, you have a horror-centric story in July.
And you couldn't do this in October. If you think about it, guess how many horror stories that these guys publish comes in October?
None.
You remember that period of time where horror movies came out in August instead of October?
Oh.
You mean like I heard that Halloween Resurrection came out in August.
It did. I remember that.
But thank God that the Rob Zombie movies came out in October.
Oof.
And so did the recent movies. Last movies came out, they all came out in October. Good on the people who wrote those movies.
What do you think of an original Absolute Metahuman? Basically, that's a Super Amazo movie, Theater King, but I appreciate the creativity.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wouldn't mind it.
Back to this.
There's nothing wrong with having original character to a universe.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, the first issue was done by this one's done by John Layman. That's interesting.
This is an. Go ahead.
Because John Layman hasn't done a comic for DC since 2014.
I know it was it New 52 or was it DC YOU era? I
YOU.
It was YOU.
It was New 52. He worked on Tita Comics.
Oh, I thought he was on DC YOU as well.
I don't know what book he was on for that one. I remember he was on Detective. He came on after Tony S. Daniel left. Issue 13 left for 29, and the story he left was Gotopia. That was the last time I saw him on that book. And the guy is a good writer. It's just that, like, what the heck has he done for the past 10 years?
Laid low, wrote off whatever royalties he could.
Yeah, I'm sure probably DC probably did really well. But John Layman hasn't done a lot, per se.
He has not.
Like, if you want to give a writer DC Comics a shot at the work, bring back Greg Hurwitz. Because the guy had a fantastic run for Batman Dark Knight. He saved that book for cancellation.
Yes,
give him another shot because that book was awesome. He made the book amazing because when David Hay wrote the book, nothing against David Hay. The guy's a good writer, but man, his first arc was bizarre. One Face! Thank you, Linkar, for bringing that back when you did review the first 3 issues. Atlantis is now has a new ruler. Long live Death Charge! Manowars' most loyal, amazing robots, as Death Charge, has stolen Aquaman's powers along his throne. Now Atlanteans must stay in line, or rest of the power is taken as well. It's up to Jackson Hyde and the rest of the Aqua family to launch a revolution without being discovered. Yes, Jackson Hyde, the son of Black Manta, is going to lead this revolution.
Okay, 1, Aquaman was terrible. 2, Calderon is the better version of this character. Let's all admit it. And 3rd, this is the first thing actively on paper in publication Aquaman has done in 3 years.
Yes, because DC is not publishing him anymore for reasons. He's the only major DC character who had a movie recently, which I have not seen yet, and no ongoing series.
Not even for synergy, but because you can make the argument Aquaman was at least the most profitable character in the DCEU. You got to give him that.
The only other character that's have a series right now who is a long-standing DC character? Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter hasn't had a solo title in a while, and I want to say 10 years or so. He had Justice League.
That one was before. I think it was a 12-issue maxi by. I think it was Steve Orlando wrote it. It's kind of like a Mondo reimagining of his 50s book, which they brought back his old partner from his 50s. From 50s, he had the female partner. The artwork was, I think, it was Riley Roops did the artwork of the book. Really interesting book per se, but that was like 20. I would say it was probably like 2016, 2017. I think it was the Anthem miniseries. Look it up if anybody remembers it, because that was the last time we had a book. Last time anything ongoing when Rob Williams with a book. This looks like a JSA tie-in.
Yep. Please tell me that's Simon Baz, because when was the last time Simon Baz was on screen? 5, 7 years ago?
Actually, he just popped up just recently in issue Green Lantern.
Oh, I got to check that out.
Can you zoom in?
It won't be able. Oh, it won't be. Let me see. No, I don't think it's going to let me. I don't have a touch screen.
Let's see.
From what I can tell. No, wait. That's an Amazo Green Lantern. Never mind.
Yeah, but on the cover, I see Alan Scott, the man who should not be gay. I believe that's the current Dr. Fate, not Kent Nelson. That's a great nephew. Our man, I don't know if that's the first, second one of the costume. And Carol Ferris.
Carol Ferris, yeah, that's Carol Ferris, yes.
Wait, she stars Sapphire again? I thought she was engaged to a guy named John. I really got to catch up on Green Lantern.
Yes. And it's one of those things. Now, this is not modern DC that are doing this. This is something they've done since the 50s. Where apparently Hal and Carol can be together, but they can't be married. This is an old I think it's no editorial thing. I guess the editors don't see the fact that Carol and Hal can be a couple. Despite the fact Jeff Johns put the fact that it can work.
Because at the end of the day,
we ever did had them get married in the future.
Nick.
Yes.
At the end of the day, Hal Jordan will always be DC's Kirk. Captain Kirk. That is the main reason right there. He will always be DC's Captain Kirk.
But here's the thing: when was the last time he actually was found in bed with the alien woman?
Fair point, but that's how editorial the old heads will see him. In most instances, Hal Jordan has been a flyboy, a playboy. He's, for all intents and purposes, been DC's Captain Kirk. At least that's how he's generally characterized as.
And here's the fun fact for you: do you remember during Jeff Johns' run, he dated a co-pilot of his who coded was Cowgirl throughout his whole run. Then she disappeared when New 52 relaunched, and then popped up for a cameo during The Green Lantern by Grant Morrison. And that was it for her.
Mm.
Look at this. Jeremy Adams writes this book, which that's interesting. Makes sense. Right?
Makes sense. After capturing and absorbing the powers from the JSA, Jade Stone is compromised by Green Lantern Alan Scott's willpower. Suddenly faced with the concept of free will, does Jade Stone continue to execute Waller's orders or have a change of heart? Meanwhile, the remaining JSA members attempt a rescue mission to retrieve their teammates and escape the Tower of Fate.
And here's a fun fact about the JSA. Not all members have powers. Case in point, Mr. Terrific. He doesn't have powers.
Wildcat, he doesn't have powers.
Our Man technically doesn't. He's powered by drugs. It's true. The Miracle drug?
Yep, I get it, Nick.
Yes.
Probably could have worded that a little better, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Wesley Dodds, the original Sandman. His power is a gas gun. I mean, not many members of the JS I can think of who have powers are the Spectre, Jay Garrick, Alan Scott, Dr. Fate, and I think that's it.
Oh, goody. Yeah, John Ridley's writing this one. Okay, there always have been okay, let me break this down. Amanda Waller in most depictions, the DCAU was ultimately has always been a government agent who's willing to get her hands dirty to do the right thing. You do, or at the very least for her country. You do not need this sob backstory. Oh, she lost her child or lost her family in an operation gone awry. And am I the only one thinking this is AI generated, or is it just me?
It kind of does. And here's the thing. That partially is true, except it was in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Wait, was this New 52 or was this pre-Flashpoint?
Pre-Flashpoint. John Oswin wrote that backstory. I wonder how he feels about how Amanda Waller is being portrayed here. Because Waller is his character. He has sole credit for creating this character because despite the fact the issue was also written by Lean Ween and art by John Byrne, John Oswender has sole credit over this character. I wonder how he feels about this.
Like they just ripped off Cadmus and put it in a comic book?
Yes. And
I'm sorry, that's just the vibe I
think
of the story. I'm sorry.
He is by far one of two comic creators one of three comic creators to make a cameo on screen who was not Stan Lee. There two being Rob Liefeld in Deadpool 1.
That is true.
And the other, he may forget the fact he did this, Ed Brubaker for Captain America Winter Soldier. Oh, and also Jim Shaw did the same thing too in Endgame.
Legendary run. Jared and I even plan to do a collab on that, to do a retrospective on that run. But Ed Brubaker's Captain America, masterclass, solid run, highly recommend.
It's a shock the fact he left Marvel. He left that run after 7 years, starting in 2005 and in 2012.
Yep.
I pretty much like the whole thing of this one is just the backstory of Amanda Waller. Despite the fact people know this backstory.
Discover the untold story of what led Amanda Waller to form the Trinity of Evil and take down Earth's superheroes. It's the Suicide Squad founder as you've never seen her before. Yes, we have. An all-new companion miniseries to the Absolute Power event. The definitive history of one of DC's deadliest villains. She's a broker and government agent. I wouldn't exactly call, well, not in the traditional sense at least.
And plus also, we have a Trinity of Evil. Their names are Ra's al Ghul, Lex Luthor, and Cersei. Trinity.
I would argue Lex Luthor, Joker, and Cheetah, but that's just, I I could see Ra's al Ghul. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I could.
that was something. I think it was Colin Bunn did that.
Yep.
The Trinity of Darkness. I think that's Red Hood, Artemis, and
And
Bazaar.
Bizarre. No, Dark
Yeah.
Trinity, not Trinity of Darkness. That's
Yeah, Dark Trinity. Trinity Magic, Deadman, John Constantine, and Santa. Which that seems strange, given the fact only two of them can use magical powers. And it was a ghost.
that is ironic indeed. The
I'm
definitive
surprised
history.
Dr. Fate's not part of that one.
You would think. Amanda Waller's catastrophic attack on the metahumans of Earth has rendered both hero and villain powerless. But what led to the wall to this place? In Absolute Power Origins, Academy Award-winning writer John Ridley and fan-favorite artist Aletha Martinez will tell the tale about how one woman lost everything she held dear, powerless beneath the forces of senseless acts of chaos. The path of vengeance would bring her to two simple words that will change her life and the lives of the entire DCU forever.
Forever.
Never again.
Yeah, John Ridley, the guy who wrote two books that basically got axed after a year. I Am
Really?
Batman and Black Panther.
How do you mess up Black Panther?
Black Panther became very political, like very, very political, where the biggest thing happened in that book is that Black Panther is no longer King of Wakanda, and he got banished from his country, and they got semi-ignored in the next line where he basically was living in town in Wakanda that is named after his late father.
Which you would think someone would recognize since T'Challa's father's been considered dead for decades.
Well, it's a town named after him.
Okay.
Yes, and it was a short-lived run. Eve Ewing wrote it. The same writer who wrote Ironheart, believe it or not.
Huh.
It wasn't a bad run. Lasted only 10 issues.
Wait, was this the first run with Ironheart or the second one? Because one of those had who shall not be named in it.
That was the ongoing.
Okay. And no, Tevia, I'm not going to make that joke of how Bendis got the idea for Ironheart. That joke's been done to death.
I'm not sure where you got the idea for Ironheart from.
I'll put it in the private chat, Nick.
Okay. Because I wonder how he feels with the live action version because she popped up in the second Black Panther movie. Where the editing for her was weird, and the fact that what I think it was Akana, I think it was one of Black Panther's bodyguards. It's like she's disrespectful that all of a sudden she's okay. Within the same I thought that was edited for the trailer. I saw the scene in the movie like, really? That's not edited. That's exactly how it is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to directly acknowledge that on live on a live panel.
On a live stream, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that part is mostly true. One of two of them were dangerous villains. They are in the cheetah.
Question: Amanda Waller will the Amanda Waller book bring? I honestly can't say that for sure. I would not be surprised if Jace was just completely shelved. I would not be surprised.
Would you be surprised if John Ridley brought him into this this origin book as a guest, as a cameo?
I don't really see how, unless you have it where he and Renee Montoya team up for some reason.
Yeah, because I would think because it's John Ridley. Because here's the weird thing about Jace Fox. Have you seen any comic book that's not written by him?
He did get a cameo in Dark Crisis, but that's because he was already established by that point. Joshua Williamson was forced by editorial to use him, at least in some capacity.
Yeah, it's like I think because, and this is my honest opinion, I think nobody cares for Jace Fox at DC Comics except for John Ridley and some editors.
I'd agree to that assessment if I'm being completely honest.
Readers don't care about him.
He's basically a Terry McGinnis in the present day, and that's the best way I could describe this character.
And the only reason why they basically named Batman because his brother is Batwing, and he's the son of Lucius Fox, one of the most beloved Batman supporting characters of all time. I say that because basically I think he's in the last 20 years he's been more relevant to Batman comics than he had been because of Batman Begins.
That is true. Batman Begins, DCAU, the Arrowverse for better or for worse, though I refuse to acknowledge that show for many reasons.
Yeah, in my honest opinion, the best interpretation of Lucius Fox is Morgan Freeman.
Oh, obviously. Obviously.
Because they even base his look on that one for he popped up on the Batman. And I believe Morgan Freeman did play the character. I believe so. He reprised his role for that episode. So he popped up in.
He did.
He did. I'm not sure. Okay.
I want to say he did. But Joshua Williamson on Superman issue 16.
Can I write? Can I
Go
read
ahead,
this?
Taladia. Go ahead.
Okay, so written by Joshua Williamson, art done by and cover done by Jamal Campbell, variant cover by Nathan Shridi, I can't pronounce that name, Frank Shaw, and Pablo Villalobos. Variant cover by Steven Subak, art spotlight variant cover by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Absolute Power, tie-in and return of Jamal Campbell to Superman series. Superman is down but not out. Waller and her forces are winning, while the Fortress of Solitude has become the home base for the survivors. The injured and powerless Superman must go on a dangerous mission into magical realm, guest starring Zatanna.
Is it this point that the House of Renixter wrapped up at this point prior to this?
Yes. The Bureau of Sovereignty and everything with the Sovereign. Because Wonder Woman, I'm not going to spoil issue 8 for those who haven't read it, but I don't see the Sovereign arc lasting too much longer. It's going to get wrapped up either by issue 9 or by issue 10 just before this.
I'm not sure what the sales are for Wonder Woman. I'm sure it's not selling well under Tom King.
Oh, it's definitely not hitting the top 100 spot. I'll tell you that right now.
If I were DC Comics, if they want to save Wonder Woman because I know how much they love the Wonder Woman character and they love the series, here's my suggestion for DC Comics: remove Tom King as the writer. Do not hit the restart like Marvel does, and pick a different writer. I mean, I don't think Greg Rucka wants to come back to top. I think he's done. Gail Simone, I'm not sure if she. I'm sure she could. I'm sure she probably has another story ideas for Wonder Woman because she had a really good Wonder Woman years ago. Maybe she could have a second run. Greg Rucka did, so why not have Gail Simone do a second run?
Interesting. Taladia, what do you think?
I think it's going to be an interesting comic, that's for sure. As a Superman fan, it's great to see him go back in the black suit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the solar-powered suit.
Which he did return to that in the backup feature for Action by Dan Jorgens, which was a continuation of the Lois and Clark series.
Boo! I don't like that series.
I love that. That was really good.
I don't like that series. It was the weakest.
It's like new petite relationship. I like
Yeah.
because when I first was introduced to Superman thanks to the animated series, Superman had no interest in Wonder Woman. It was all Lois.
Say what you will about the edit. Go ahead.
I wasn't reading Superman at the time, but I like the relationship with Superman and Lois better than Superman Wonder. That just me, Taladia. I know you like it with Wonder Woman, but I like it with Lois. Okay.
I respect that. Taladia?
I respect that. My opinion, obviously, is Lois belongs with Zod. So there's a ship called Zois now.
I don't think he wants it because he already has his own woman, Ursa.
No, it's a new ship. It's a new ship that me and Jared have come up with. Zois, meaning General Zod and Lois Lane belong together.
Why? Because they're both equally toxic and megalomaniacal. Excuse me. God, that's hard to pronounce.
Not only that, Jay, but because the fact is that they have a unique bond together. Just saying, they have that unique bondage. Just saying. Can you imagine a General Zod Lois Lane kid?
You are really lucky I'm a small channel, Talati, because otherwise you would have got me demonetized 3 times over in that sentence.
I know how much you love the Superman Wonder Woman relationship because we have the artist from Superman Wonder Woman.
You would have been demonetized, Jay. It's not demonetizable.
Hey, you're the one who's reached that status. You're the one taking a gamble here.
It's not demonetizable. But anyway, what I'm saying is General Zod and Lois Lane together. I'm just saying, just imagine I'm having a kid, and they'll call him John John L. General Zod. Uh,
Chris Kent.
no, it'll be John, but with Zod General Zod's last name, right? Mix that together. What do you get? I know this is gonna trigger trivia too.
And how much you love the Superman Wonder Woman setup because we have the artist who did the first 12 issues on this issue, joining us, Daniel.
Jay, he's not there, so we're gonna
Yeah,
have to.
yeah.
We'll just read this anyway.
I think we read this list. You want to read it?
Written by Tom King, art by Tony S. Daniel and Belen Ortega, cover done by Daniel Samper, variant covers done by Julian Toto and Tesco, and Tony S. Daniel, variant cover by Jeff Spokes, art spot by variant cover Jose Luis Lopez. Water War. Wonder Woman quest for truth is placed on hold as she comes face to face with Amanda Waller. Latest story, a task force. I think that's 6. Is that
Yeah.
6?
That's 8.
Task Force 8. Robot
7.
ready to take
7 because
7.
it'd be V. It'd be V with the 3 eyes.
Okay. What Nick said. Robot ready to take her powers for good. Do the Justice League Dark have enough tricks up their sleeve to save our Amazon princess? Find out in this tie-in to Absolute Power begins. And I hope Thingy doesn't ruin this cover. This issue. I really don't. Tom King has already ruined Wonder Woman as is, so
Mm-hmm.
scroll
I
down,
could
Jay.
be I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm convinced the Emily Trinity subplot has been dropped at this point because Tom King didn't have the time to finish it before Absolute Power. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to.
Oh, a book by Jameson the Fourth.
Nice.
I think it's a sequel to Nice House on the Left.
I want to say something. The Nice House by the Sea.
I have not read Nice House on the Left, the previous book Jameson did. 12 issue maxi series. And DC are charging $5 for a 50-page comic. Look, okay, DC, this is not a superhero book. It's 40 pages. There are people who do like horror. He might buy this as horror. This probably would not be a big seller for DC.
But I respect them trying to branch out.
Yes. And it's not listed on Black Label because this will be under Black Label because it's not Prime DCU.
Nick, you want to take this one?
I'm not taking this one. I already read 2 issues.
Okay, no one was invited to the house knew Max. But she knew every one of them. Masters of their fields, titans of industry and knowledge, all represented the best and brightest of humanity. So when Max whispered to each of them the truth of what discovered to be saved from disaster, to carry on the flame of civilization in a paradise just built for them, they all leaped at the chance. Why not? Why shouldn't they be the ones live forever? Isn't their destiny to starve the calling of the lesser herd? Wouldn't be named the future humanity be nice? With the Eisenhower winning Nice House on the Lake. Okay, it was partial. I thought it was it was actually like honored as the best new series by Progenis. I'm gonna say basically International Comics Festival. I'm not pronouncing it because that looks too hard to pronounce. Jason Fourth, Aviel Martez Bruno, Shock Comic History and Unleash a contemporary classic contemporary horror. And no matter what you think is coming, you're ready for the second act.
I've
Okay.
actually been anticipating this. Death in the Family, Robin Lives. I heard rumors about this last year. But I had finals, but I had finals at the time, so I never got around to it. but I did hear rumors of this book coming out.
Yes.
In
Written by James,
19, go ahead.
written by James T.S., art by Rick Lenardi, variant cover, and 1.5 by Mike Mignola. Good creative team. I like this one. In 1988, the year I was born, DC fans made a similar choice in the history of DC's publication. Voted to kill off Jason Todd's Robin and the death of the family storyline. Now, first, however, we will find out what happened. The fans voted to live, and it begins with the murder of the Joker. Now, those of you curious about what happened, like how in the world basically that he died, there was a phone number published in DC Comics at the time. All you do is say yes or no, and like live or die, and die won, so he died. It was later discovered that a lot of those votes were from one person hitting the real dial button 20, 30 times.
Allegedly, it was never proven.
Yeah, it's like hit the automatic redial. They never found out who did this, but that's according to the story I've heard. Oh, we have a spin-off of Dark Knight of Steel, an excellent book by Tom Taylor. Have you read it, Jade?
I have. Solid story. Basically, Game of Thrones, but with DC characters. See, Tom Taylor can actually do decent with Elseworld stories. Elseworld stories. It's in continuity or ongoings where he starts to falter. Mm-hmm. Nightwing was dragged out way too long. Written by Jay Kristoff and Tom Taylor. Art by Trizzo Cons and Riccardo Federici. Apologies if I butchered that.
I think this is the art team behind the main series.
I want to say so as well. The snow falls thick, blood runs black, and the color itself is only a distant memory. The legendary assassin Deathstroke stalks a frozen wasteland, killing for coin among a nation of ever-warring jarls. But when our murderer for hire finds himself cast in the role of the reluctant guardian, will he fight to the end the icy curse destroying his land, or be consumed by the sins of his own dark past? The red-hot Dark Knights of Steel epic expands into the bone-chilling new territories with new surprises in store.
I want to see Deathstroke version of. I think it's supposed to be Deathstroke.
Yes.
Interesting. I got no problem with this at all because good selling book. I actually own both trades for it. The sequel to Gotham of Gaslight, the Control the Age, written by Andy Deagle, which I don't remember. Did you write the original book?
I think so. Hold on, let me look that up.
Maybe a different writer because I don't think he wrote it. I think it was somebody else.
Gotham by Gaslight, written by Brian Augustine and Mike Mignola.
Interesting, in fact, we have either those two on this book. Because Mike Mignola, because he just did a one shot. We just saw his name on one shot just on this solicit. And Brian Augustine, he hasn't done anything in years. I'm surprised he's not doing this book. Are you surprised about that, Jay?
I am surprised. I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I am surprised about that, but I am curious to see how the story unfolds.
Upon covering a mystery involving ancient relics, Batman must battle against Talia al Ghul in a League of Shadows for control of a dangerous weapon. As court magician John Constantine whispers in the ear of Queen Victoria, Professor Adam Strange explores the furthest reaches of the Antarctic. Strange rumors they're chasing about lost Kryptonian age. Mankind begins to take truth. Interesting the fact that Adam Strange is now a professor in this time. Well, John Constantine Court Edition, that's interesting.
Indeed. Detective Comics 1087, written by Ran V, art by Javier Fernandez, cover by Evan Cagle, backups written by Dan Waters, variants by Kelly Jones, Gulliam, Gulliam March, apologies if I butchered that, and Sebastian Fuimara. Gotham City is besieged on all sides. The Orgum's iron fist holds the city in a death grip. The Joker's daughter terrorizes the streets. Oh, they're bringing her back. While Mr. Freeze's most apocalyptic creation yet menaces the city from below. Does the Dark Knight stand a chance?
I don't remember the last time she appeared. I think last time she appeared in a comic was during the Rick Grayson stuff.
Did she get a cameo in the Rick Grayson stuff?
Yeah, she did. She brought them a couple issues.
Oh, huh. Batman and Robin, issue 11.
I enjoyed this series.
Written by Joshua Williamson, art by Juan Ferreira, covered by Simone Di Mio, variants by Juan Ferreira. Oh, he's doing a variant as well. And Travis Mercer. Oh, and Christian Ward. Bruce and Damian plan the perfect father-son getaway to Dinosaur Island. When the dynamic duo uncovers a deadly family secret, their investigation takes them on a fun-filled adventure to rescue one of Batman's greatest enemies. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with having a spin-off book every now and then, but I'm sorry, this easily could just, with the way it's structured, it easily could have just been an anthology series. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my personal opinion.
Nightwing 116.
The Fallen Grayson.
The third to last issue of Tom Taylor's run.
Not going to say I'll miss him.
I would not be surprised if the final issue is double-sized.
Nick, you want to take this one?
Everything Dick Grayson has built is crumbling around him. His life is beyond control, and Heartless is the center of all of it. Now, Nightwing must leave his city. Can he take back the power he's lost, or Bloodhaven has be lost to Heartless forever? One thing DC has not announced yet is who's succeeding Tom Taylor as the writer of this book.
I don't think
you should know. You should know, Jay. Yeah, you should know, Jay.
Yo, I have not seen, none of my sources can confirm who's taking over after the Fallen Grayson art. I want to say, I'm not going to say Nightwing's going to stop publishing because it actually is selling decent.
And people like buying Nightwing. And if you think about it, this is DC's the second highest numbering for a book they have right now, because third highest is Catwoman.
That's true.
That's not been renumbered. This is only two books I could think of that's over 100 issues.
Yep.
Raven the Bold, 115. Actually, issue 15. Art by Tim Seeley, Mark Russell, Joshua Hale Volkov, and Alex Segura. Those that are familiar with Joshua Hale Volkov, this is the guy who wrote I Vampire and the Awful Ultra FF series. Well, the book had really terrible artwork. You ever read J Heat?
I have heard of it. I've never read it myself, but I have heard of it.
The artwork is atrocious.
I've heard it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay, artwork. Kelly Jones. Always awesome seeing this guy. John McHale. Lazaro Esron and Annie McDonald, covered by Simone. This is one of two books this person has a cover art for. The other being Batman Robin. Francisco Mattia and Dan Hop doing variant cover. And here are some interesting stories. Nightwing and Deadman journey down long forgotten stars paths to reveal answers, but they might wish it was hidden. Boost to Gold is realized getting everyone to agree on a perfect timeline is easier said than done. Batman Guy Gardner faces secrets of the universe. And finally, our hard-hitting question story. As Mary finds herself, probably need to scroll down because I can't see the rest. Finds under attack both as commissioner and the question. So instead of a team story, it's a standalone question story. Interesting. And this was a surprise. They've only released one trade for this series so far. I just collected the winning card art by Tom King.
Hmm.
And nothing else, surprisingly. It was issues 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Huh. I am very interested in that.
Yeah. Poison Ivy number 24.
To be fair, I'm honestly surprised that this book is still ongoing. I am, like, seriously, I did not expect this book to take off as much as it did.
I think the reason why it probably is selling as well as probably could, because Poison Ivy is popular. I think her book is probably either selling more or just as even as Harley Quinn.
Maybe. The Death of Harley Quinn. Death of Poison Ivy. Pamela Isley, excuse me. Written by G. Willow Wilson. Art by Mariko Takara. Covers by Jessica Fong, David Nakayama. Apologies if I butchered that. Frank Cho, Alizia Ivona, and Frank is doing a variant as well. Okay. The Death of Pamela Isley. Dr. Jason Woodrow, the Phalonic Man, aka Floro, has stacked the deck in his favor. Neither Ivy's powers nor her allies are enough to put an end to Floro and his devilish plan to turn Ivy's victims against her. As time and her own supply of blood runs out, one thing becomes apparent: to bring the outbreak of the parasitic fungi. Oh, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. To an end. Poison Ivy will have to kill both her own creator and herself.
I'm surprised they don't mention the fact his other name was the Cedar. That was the name from Charles Schultz for Swamp Thing. If anybody has read that Swamp Thing book, yeah, Scott Snyder's was amazing. He did the first 18-inch, but Charles Schultz was also amazing.
Very good run.
Yeah, not a bad issue. And despite people being like the P2, Swamp Thing was one of our popular titles.
I will give him that.
I think it was kind of weird when they canceled Animal Man at 29 issues. It was because of low sales, because the reason I heard to make way of Batman Eternal.
Pretty much.
They canceled that, Alan, and Batman Dark to make room for that. I'm like, so you canceled 3 ongoing series for 1 weekly. Doesn't make any sense?
It is if you're selling Batman.
Harley Quinn 42. One of 2 times Harley Quinn did this. The other time being the previous volume. First time was actually, this is the second this has happened. Because the first one was 38 issues. Second one was 30. This one was 42. Second one in a row.
You know what? I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Let's be honest. I ain't always the easiest to tag along with. Hey, don't agree so fast. You ain't exactly the bee's knees yourself. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, on the run. My scientific study on villainous villains has gone all kinds of wrong. And I've made myself a whole lot of enemies in a really short time. Mr. Freeze, Robin, and worst of all, this new cop, Polsky, who's got a target aimed smack dab at my head. Don't shoot my head, Pulaski. I love my head. And assuming Pulaski doesn't shoot my lovely head, step inside it for a lovely story about the power of reading books and burning them is no good. Terribly insufficient as a fuel source. As brought to you by the librarians who keep kicking me out of the video section. Joanne Starr and Marcio Jagan. Well, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Sorry, my Harley Quinn is not the best. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're only good at Jahi, you're only good at one thing. You know what that one thing is?
What's that?
Constantine.
You're damn right.
You can put a British accent?
Go on. Do it.
I love that cover that they gave Harley.
I dare you
bloody
to say it.
Bullocks.
Yeah, I can tell basically Harley's back in her classic costume. People love her.
Oh, bloody hell.
Because people love this costume over the UV2 costume or her costume she had in her solo book. Because, well, here you think Harley Quinn, this is the outfit people think of. Not Suicide Squad, not their solo book, this outfit right here.
I don't know what. Now, granted, those are some good runs. But if you're thinking Harley Quinn, this is what you're going to think of from BTAS. Either this costume or strictly BTAS. I'm sorry, the costume is iconic. Let's be honest.
Yep, at least her costume from the first solo run by Jump by Manny Connor, at least had the same color scheme.
And am I the only one who thinks Red Hood the Hill's a more overall success than Tim Drake Robin was? And this was a mini series.
Yes, I think so.
Granted.
Because you want to know why? One of the reasons is that the artwork is not having people bend over every issue.
I'm so freaking demonetized.
Have you read the issues of Tim Drake Robin?
I have. That's why I'm laughing.
The landlord should be Harmass, not a freaking landlord of a marina. It's like Megan Fitzmartin did not do research on marina. A marina does not have a freaking landlord. They have a harbor master, not a landlord.
Okay.
Last time I checked, people do not bend over going down steps of a freaking boat. I've been on a boat. You bend your head, but not your whole freaking body.
We made it 1 hour and 21 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We had a good run.
Yes. Now, all three of us can agree. Tim Drake Robin is Riley Russo's worst comic he ever worked on.
Oh, hands down.
After the book ended, he did Wesley Sandman, and that was a much better book.
Oh, much better. Much better.
I think we did see a book he's doing for this month, didn't he? I think he's doing one of the episode Power Ties, isn't he?
I want to say so, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. I love this cover for Robin the Hill. Or I think this is the final issue of the series.
Yes, it's a miniseries. It ends in issue 6, unless it gets expanded. Question: why are they still printing Harley Quinn comics? Because I don't think. Apparently, they have an audience, Tevia. Apparently, they have an audience.
I buy the trades.
If you notice something about okay, yeah, that's Super Sons related.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, Tevia. I just feel like that brand is that ship has sailed. If I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. I was right. This is the final issue.
It's been problem after problem since Jason Todd took up residence in the Hill. Madmen, megalomaniacs, and monsters have menaced Red Hood and his allies constantly since his arrival. But he and you, dear reader, can't prepare for what comes next. Can Red Hood be the savior his new city needs, or will the Hill go to hell? Find out in this climactic finale.
Who knows what Hood's going to do after this miniseries, right? Because I haven't heard anything he's doing afterwards.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, we've only just done a quarter of the solicitations.
Oh, God.
Yes.
And we're an hour and 30 into the stream.
Yeah. Okay. Some of the characters you see on this cover. Of course, you see Slink in the middle. The woman in the Catwoman costume on the far left, that is Emiko. She is a character created by Giovanni Valentine. The brown woman who looks like Mia Clay, that is Lady Clayface. Sandra Four, who was created by Mike W. Burr and Jim Pear from The Outsiders. That's where she first showed up in. I think this was her second series she popped up because, like, she responded to this book with issue 50.
She did.
I don't recognize the other two, but that's who I recognize. I think that's Onyx.
That's
the black woman. I think it's Onyx.
Yes, that is Onyx because I remember her from Under the Red Hood in the actual comic version. In the movie version, a lot of you may know from the 2010, Onyx had a cameo, but she didn't have any speaking lines. At least I think she got a cameo in Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, Onyx made her debut in a backup feature for Detective, where she was a bodyguard for a brand new hero named Ultimate. I think his name is. It's a black vigilante who operated in Gotham, and Batman approved of him not because he's black, because he doesn't kill people. And because he was in one area of Gotham that was not patrolling, and he had no problem with them. That wasn't until War Games where he got killed by Black Mask, and Black Mask wore his mask.
Yep. Pre-Flash.
Never brought him back.
That is
they
true.
brought Onyx back, but not him. He was not a bad character. I think if he had this on miniseries, like a quick 2-issue miniseries, and that was it for him. And fun fact, not in trade.
And I want to say this is... No, that's not Scandal. That's somebody else. And I believe this character debuted in this run, but
Yes,
he's a rich
I
boy
think
who's
Scandal was
rebelling
actually in the
against his
series,
father.
but she's under a different code name. But I think Scandal's in the book, but I don't know if that's Scandal or not. But I find it interesting that Lady Clayface is on this cover because if you think about it, since she showed up in comics, she has not made many appearances in the covers. Like, I think prior to this, the only cover she ever made I could think of was during the Mudpack storyline, where she met her future husband and the father of her only known child, who they named after Muhammad Ali. His birth name, mind you. They named him Cassius Clay. Yes, a clay woman and a guy basically who has a deft touch had a child.
There's a
Because,
Rogan Gambit joke in there somewhere, but too soon. Too soon.
yeah, but the person I think the person who wrote that story, I think it was Alan Grant who wrote that story. Rest in peace, Alan Grant. You were one fantastic writer. I really wish I met you when you were alive. Okay, this looks like this is penultimate chapter. That means next issue chapter of the storyline. Unknown what's happening next. We'll find out when we get to, I think it's July 6th, correct?
Yes, this is a monthly title, so we'll find out after August.
Yes, I think August we'll find what next arc is because this arc is going on for quite a while.
Yeah, this is a monthly title. I want to say it was it bi-weekly in the previous volume, or has it always been monthly?
It's always monthly, but this storyline, this arc was going on for seems like almost a year.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever, this is by far, I have read every single issue of Catwoman ever released. And I reviewed a good chunk of her book. She's never had a story that lasted a whole year before. And they started this right after Gotham War.
Yes,
I think it was right next issue. This was next.
Yep. Selina's journey has brought her everywhere, from the deepest reaches of the ocean to the vacuum of space, but she's out of places to hide. With enemies closing in all around her, there's only one place left to go: home. Prepare for the fight of Selina's life as the White Glove launches their attack on Gotham City.
Yeah, I think the main villain of the storyline is Black Mask, which, of course, is Black Mask, because Black Mask has been connected to Catwoman since Volume 3. I think we're ever bigger for doing that.
Birds of Prey, issue 11.
How do you feel about this series, Jay Heat?
I actually do like this series for what it's worth. I mean, first off, you brought back Sin, so that was a deep cut. I never thought they were going to canonize again. This series has actually been a welcome surprise, all things considered.
Yeah, and according to Chuck Dixon, the guy who created Birds of Prey, now DC credits Chuck Dixon for creating Birds of Prey. According to Chuck Dixon, that is completely untrue. They do not get credit to the actual guy who came with the idea of the original Birds of Prey, Jordan B. Gorfinkel. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was also the last writer of Catwoman for it and did the second volume. He's the one who created the original Birds of Prey. The one featured Oracle and Black Canary and occasional guest stars. That was all him. He was an editor of DC Comics because my guess is because he was an editor, now a regular writer. That's why I don't give him credit. I think it's Chuck Dixon credit because he wrote the comic. And I heard something also that he mentioned in his podcast that I think that he did not get credit for Birds of Prey in the Birds of Prey movie. Or Jordan.
No, he did not.
Which I think he should have. I don't know if he was credited for the TV show. I have no idea. Because think of the concept TV show that is literally loosely based upon the original concept for the series. And he should have got credit for that.
Fair enough. The Birds of Prey's personal failings threaten to turn an advantage into a disadvantage as their search for Barbara continues to be more fight for your lives and search for Oracle. Oh, and there are dinosaurs. So
I do appreciate this book is not double-sided like every single freaking comic at DC right now.
Nope, a standard 32 pages for $3.99. That's probably why it's selling.
Yeah, this book is probably Tom King's better book. I people like one, but this book is better. because Tom King knows what he's doing in this book because this book is amazing. That's just my opinion about this book.
Penguin issue number 12. Nick, you want to read this one?
As book comments, master plans for Gotham feel like he has the whole city in the palm of his flipper, but it's all gone wrong. Now trapped in the Batmobile along with his most hated enemy. Sinking into a wandering grave, the Penguins find himself wondering if it's all for naught. But Batman's Avalon adversary may have one more scheme up his feather sleeve. If it's not too late, the Penguin epic saga ends here. Sounds like the end of the series.
It looks like it because I don't think this was a maxi series.
Wasn't solicited, but this series has been amazing. I've loved every single issue of this book. This is one character from Batman's Worst Ever aside from Catwoman, Joker, who makes total sense to get his own book.
I agree. Batman
Dark Age.
issue number 4, written by Mark Russell, art and cover by Mike Allred, variant by Chris Samney and Jorge Fornes. I almost said Jorge Jimenez.
I'm probably surprised if the colorist is done by his wife Laura.
Batman's world begins to grow as the people of Gotham realize they only need a costume to justify their problematic behavior. Fortunately, with Robin at his side and the empowered populace, Batman begins to turn the tide in his war against crime. But he isn't the only one preparing an army. Falcone is readying his own recruits to take the battle to new lows. Will a figure from Bruce's past play a key role in the battle to come? And The Outsiders. So Doctor Strange is making an appearance.
You mean Dr. Fate?
Dr. Fate, excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
We need a clip of this, guys, where Jay Heat slips up. It's a Jay Heat moment.
Yeah, and I think they got Brandon Lamp because at the issue 6, Batwing and Batwoman left the book.
Okay, so this is Luke Fox, Dr. Fate, and I want to say this is original character, but she might be a deep cut.
I'm not sure, but the guy with the mustache, it looks like Lucius, a younger version of Lucius Fox.
Could be. The Lost City of Canaan. That's a double entendre if I've ever seen one. The Outsider's journey through and outside of the multiverse continues. Deep beneath reality, two cities follow diametrically opposed philosophies. One is built from legacy, continuity, and order, and the other is born of innovation, reinvention, and chaos. Between the delicate balance of these narratives sits our story, as well as the key to changing it. To do so could jeopardize the DC universe as we know it. So, who is plotting to do exactly that?
According to Jackson Lazing, this is going to be 12 issues, so we got about 3 more to go.
Okay.
That's what he told me about this book.
Deladia, all yours.
Okay. What? This is done by Mark Wade. Art done by Dan Mora. Variant cover done Beyond Bardinez and David Alafunte. You need to get rid of the banner, Jay here.
Oh, sorry.
And look, another comic where it's average length, not 40 pages.
The grand finale to Impossible is here, and it is insane. You think it would be. First of all, we've got this big Doomite guy over here. Check him out. He's about to eat Batman and Superman. What would he even taste like? Let's hope our heroes never let him find out, as the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight save the fifth dimension from implosion or die trying. Okay, next one. We need to power through this, Jay Heat.
Power Girl.
Issue 11 by Lee Williams.
I'm looking at the cover. Is that supposed to be a woman?
It is.
Are they implying Power Girl has returned to a lesbian?
No comment. No comment.
Written by, let's just get to the synopsis. Forever alone, dating is hard, especially if you're Metropolis's breakout hero Power Girl. Will an innocent date with the mysterious Axel be just what Paige needs to get her groove back? Or are there some skeletons in her suitor's closet waiting to be set free?
Yeah, I know Tibby does not like the alias for her page at all.
I get why they changed it from Karen, which I understand from a social media standpoint. But at the same time, wasn't Power Girl always a Karen?
Yeah, those who know what Karens are, these are basically upper rich class women who basically act like they're basically above everything. That's the description
Shazam!
of them.
Whoa, what was that?
I
Not
do
me.
anything.
Oh, must have must have been my mic. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Shazam,
yeah,
issue number 13.
yeah. Looks like basically Billy Batson's missing.
Written by Josie Campbell, art by Mike Norton, cover by Gleb Melnikoff. Always happy to see his artwork. And variants by Riley Rossmo and Simone DeMille. Where in the world is Billy Batson? Freddie and Mary hit the road to track down their teenage runaway brother. But little do they know, he's hiding right under their noses, in the subway. Meanwhile, strange new monsters are stalking the streets of Philly. Can Billy still prove he's hero enough to save the day without the captain? Oh, that's right. He does. He did get depowered after a recent story arc, didn't he?
Yeah, I wonder how they plays the role in Absolute Power.
Huh.
Yeah, and that's one thing Joseph Campbell did the first issue, where it's like the captain's come out without Billy Batson's permission now. Sin Sons, featuring the son of General Zion Lorso and the son of Sinister. In my opinion, the mother is still Lisa Dark, and Tomasi agrees with that theory, but he has not revealed who the mother is.
But he's the only other person Sinistra's been. She's the only other person, excuse me, that Sinistra's been with. Like, it's obviously her.
I'm surprised they haven't revealed it yet.
And is Sinestro wearing a Red Lantern ring now, or is this just the cover?
I think he's a Red Lantern. I'm not sure why he's a Red Lantern.
Written by Peter J. Tomasi, art and cover by Vasco George. I'm not even going to try.
Final issue of this book.
Wait, it is?
6 of 6.
Oh, now I see it. Yeah, this was a miniseries. The truth of Sinsen's origin is at last revealed as he and his best frenemy, Lord Zod, make their mad dash for the throne of the planet Korrigar. It all ends here for the bad boys of comics, and if you thought these two deserved some sort of happy ending, think again. Nick?
Kneel before Zod, issue 7. Yeah, it's General Zod book. I think this is ongoing.
This is ongoing. Written by Joe.
I did not expect this to be ongoing. I would think like a character like him be a miniseries. Nope, it's ongoing. Joe Casey, Dan McDowell, cover by Jason Sean Alexander, variant cover Legigo Parallel. And it's interesting the fact that we don't have an old school Superman writer in this. Actually, Joe Casey has written Superman books before, but I don't know if there's written any Zod stories before I can think of before this.
Nope. As General Zod finally takes full command of his alien legion of supervillains, the Emerald Empress strikes. If Zod can withstand her insidious attack, the cosmic secret of the Eye will finally be revealed. The road to Zod's ultimate vengeance continues.
And we're back to Flash. We just talked about this book.
Written by Simon Spurr, art by Ramon Perez, cover by Mike Deodato Jr. Apologies if I butchered that.
I think maybe Mike, he may have stopped doing the interior, just do the covers now. That may be.
Maybe. As Barry, Max, Mr. Terrific, and Pilgrim head into the Speed Force to uncover what's really causing all the chaos around the world, Wally returns home, but under the same mind control that seized Barry. Meanwhile, Linda finally meets the Resident, the being Wally West turned to while trapped in the gallery.
Titans 13. That kind of sounds interesting.
Titan 13. Another Dark Raven storyline. Well, at least this one doesn't evolve an alien space wedding. I regret nothing.
That'd be something for Starfire to do, not Raven.
The joke still stands. You know what I'm talking about, Nick.
Or what happened in Titans 100.
Yep. Written by Tom Taylor.
People thought the book went downhill with that issue. Lynn Carr believes the book went downhill with issue 71 with Titans, the original Titans Hunt storyline. I read that story is so confusing.
It is.
And Marvel wrote the damn thing. I think at this point I think he may be running out of ideas because he wrote this as a start, and he was still writing at this point. Like he wrote this entire freaking book. Like he wrote like almost 200 issues of Teen Titans.
He had to have been going through burnout at some point.
Either that, or he what he should have done is take a break for a year and come back. Mark Waid did that for Flash.
As Raven's powers grow, the jealousy of her surviving siblings grows around them. Will their rivalry lead to the doom of all? Do the Titans stand a chance against the spawn of Trigon? Another Dark Raven storyline. I'm sorry, it's just
no comment.
Outside of Trigon the Terrible, Raven has no other deeper connective storylines other than being in an ensemble of the Titans herself or being an emotional support and foil for Beast Boy. Other than that, there's nothing more to her character. Sure, you could argue Raven, Robin, and DeCamu, but it's literally the same purpose. The only difference is it's for Damian instead of Beast Boy. Does she get anything after Trigon the Terrible? I think not.
And also the fact that she and Beast Boy are supposed to be dating.
This is why I don't tolerate shipping wars, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is something that, because if you read the Teen Titans kind of prior to Flashpoint, these two start a relationship, and then it's ignored by the time the new continuity starts up.
Then they brought it back in Rebirth, then they break it off. Then they brought it back in Titans Academy, and now it's just Mirandering about. And even then, it was just used to set up, another Demon Raven story. Her dark self escaped the gem. You think an empath would notice a dark version of herself is itching to get out. But hey, that's just my nitpicks. Green Lantern issue 13.
Written by Jerry Adams and Mark Guggenheim. That's interesting.
Interesting. Art by Fernando.
I don't think he's ever written a Green Lantern book I could think of.
Not that I recall.
Last book I think it worked for DC. Off the top of my head, I think it may have been... I think it was Arrow season 2.5.
Yep.
That was the last time I could think of. That was like, I'm trying to think, how long ago was that? That was like 2014?
That's been every bit 10 years.
Yeah. His last mainstream book he worked on was JSA. Oh, Just Say America. He was the last writer of that book. In that run, he introduced a city that was mentioned in an episode of Arrow, Mountain Point. A suburb of Washington, D.C., a fictional suburb. Great storyline, and it got cut up by New 52.
Yep. Written by Jeremy Adams. Oh, wait, we already established that. Art by Fernando Pasarin and Matthew Clark. Cover by Ariel Colin. Variants by Salvador LaRocca and Gleb Melnikov. Chuma Hill and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
I wonder if Ariel Colin must be related to Gene Colan.
No idea. Hal Jordan.
Well, last name is spelled the same exact way.
It is. Hal Jordan is the latest casualty of Amanda Waller. Depowered and back on Earth, Hal needs to find a way to get to the new power battery and recharge. But Tharos has other plans. Now Hal is being hunted by the most dangerous aliens on the planet. Plus, in the backup, the secret origin of Lord Premier Tharos, ruler of the United Planets, is at last revealed. Excuse me. Green Lantern War Journal, issue 11.
Written by Jeremy Adams for developing United Planets because Ben's introduced him and then nothing with him.
That is true. That is true.
Look at this. Like, are they saying that Green Lantern War Journal? I thought it was ongoing. It's a 12-issue maxi series.
I want to say so. It is a 12-issue maxi series.
It's weird. I would have thought this was ongoing.
I thought so too for a while. On Earth, Ellie Stewart's efforts to protect her mother are turned against her, as her seemingly idealistic fantasy world is turned into a nightmare realm by the terrifying Star Shroud. He gets in an 11th hour assist from the Green Lantern Corps. It's a reunion for the ages in this penultimate chapter of Green Lantern War Journal.
Maybe this will lead to a new Green Lantern Corps ongoing series.
Please.
We need one. There's not been a Green Lantern Corps ongoing since the Hal Jordan Lantern Corps ended in, what was it, 2017? I think it was.
No, you got to count Ridley and you got to count Scott Ridley in 2022. You got, since that was an officially published book, for better or for worse.
Yeah, but under the title Green Lantern Corps, not Green Lantern.
That is true. That is true.
Though Hal Jordan Lantern Corps was just a continuation of like 3 different books. Well, I'm counting it as a Green Lantern Corps book because it had Green Lantern Corps in the title.
Green Arrow issue 14.
Phil Host does a cover artwork, and I am surprised they brought this artist back to do this cover art because this is the first time he's done Green Arrow since Volume 3 in the 2000s. He was also the interior artist as well when Joe Winnick wrote the book. Are you surprised about this guy back?
I am surprised. I am surprised.
Amanda Clay and Nathan does the interior art. I thought was the interior art. He's a good artist. And plus, he knows how to all working really well.
He does. With a new brand of deadly Amazos on the attack across the DC universe, no one is safe. So the Green Arrow family tracks down the Amazos' original creator, Professor Ivo. Can he help stop Waller's master plans? But they are not the only ones searching for Ivo. Oliver Queen is also on the hunt.
That's interesting.
Blue Beetle.
I'm surprised they're going to involve Anthony Ivo in this storyline because, after all, he's the guy who created Amazos, so of course he's going to be involved in the storyline.
Yep.
Blue Beetle, this cover.
Issue 11. Written by Josh Chirila. I'm not even going to try to pronounce those. Jaime Reyes. Thank you.
I think he's Hispanic. He might be Hispanic. It might be Spanish, this guy.
Thank you,
Nick. He might be the first, probably, Spanish writer who wrote Blue Beetle that I can think of. Jaime is mostly written by guys like Tony Bedard or Jay Matias or Matthew Surge, but never someone who's Spanish.
Jaime Reyes has found himself since becoming the Blue Beetle. He has made new friends, saved the world, found a new place to call home as he struck out on his own. So what's next for the Blue Beetle and the rest of La Familia Escarajo?
Are you surprised this is not tied to Absolute Power?
No. I am surprised. Though I would not be surprised.
This might be because, well, he's got powers, even though it's alien technology or magic.
They never could decide that. My Adventure with Superman, issue 2.
Comic tie into the TV show no one likes.
Written by Josie Campbell, art by Pablo M. Cola, Lee Cree, variant by Megan Hang. I apologize if I butchered that.
Thank God it's not Fitzmartin.
At that much, we can both agree, Nick. After the mysterious android is captured by a covert military group, Superman realizes he can't just bust through a government facility and take what he wants. No, this looks like a job for mild-mannered journalist Clark Kent. You just passed your internship. You literally start the show during your internship days post-college. The very premise of your show is what if you got a job at the planet 5 years earlier? How is this even... Taladia, please take over before I have an aneurysm.
All right. Teen Titans drew the contract.
Yeah,
I think this is a reprint.
One at a time, gentlemen. Taladia.
Reprint. This is a reprint, so
okay.
we can skip this.
I believe is the debut of Nightwing.
Yes,
the debut of the Nightwing persona, and I believe no, there's nothing too impactful other than that in this story. Nothing that wasn't already built up.
So we can skip this.
The disco collar.
Same with Justice League America. That's
that is a classic issue. I love that issue. Fun fact: that cover has been reprinted a few times, and I believe that chessboard is popped up on Young Justice.
Yep.
All right, let's skip this, Jay.
Okay.
Skip this.
Zatanna, Bring the House Down, issue 2, Black Label.
I'm not reading this.
Written by Mariko Tamaki, art and cover by Javier Rodriguez, variants by Jenny Fridson, Ariel Diaz, and never mind. Miniseries 2 of 5. Magician on trial. Despite Zatanna's willful determination to avoid real magic at all costs, a terrifying showman with interdimensional demon that interrupted her stage show reveals that she might not have run as far as the world of sorcery she once hoped. Now, a mysterious group of magic casters emerges from the shadows to accuse her of wielding great and terrible power against one of their own, her late father in greatest shame, Giovanni Zatara. Boy Wonder, issue 3. Hey, at least we're getting the Red Robin costume back.
Yes. I missed that. There was nothing really wrong with that costume.
It's licensing and the whole Red Robin yum.
Yeah, but the costume has nothing to do with the restaurant. It's just
it's a branding thing. If they try to use the costume, at least in terms of actual publication, it's a licensing. It could lead to a licensing dispute. It's a whole thing.
That could explain why that the trades for him are a basic print.
Pretty much.
I kind of wish DC would basically just make a good light skin with Red Robin, allow him to use the name and the costume to first do a new printing of the original trade series, and 2, allow him to have Tim Drake become Red Robin again.
The only way I could see that realistically happening is either one or two scenarios. Warner Brothers either agrees to use the Tim Drake likeness as a pseudo mascot for Red Robin as a burger joint, or they consistently pay a licensing fee to Red Robin's corporate office to use the name, which Warner Brothers is not in a position to do due to the amount of debt they have, even with Discovery.
Yes.
I'm surprised they even have the money to pay it for this miniseries.
I'm surprised Disney hasn't bought them now because they bought Fox. Because they're rich. At least they're not in debt.
Yeah, but it kind of ruins the appeal of competition. Once you acquire a monopoly, there's no one else to compete with you anymore.
I mean, can you think of any studio who's not in debt besides Disney?
No, Universal got a little bit of debt, not gonna lie.
Do you think they can afford to buy Warner Brothers Discovery? And
they won't do it. They won't do it though, but Disney could pull it off.
Yeah, they're rich.
Their stocks have taken a recent hit though, from what I've researched.
I think it's because their leadership is run by a bunch of idiots.
That's debatable.
And plus, I heard that the Bob Iger lost a lawsuit to Ron DeSantis. And now Ron DeSantis has, according to what I read, apparently Ron DeSantis now has legal control in a way over how Disney runs their parks in Florida.
The cunning Tim Drake has always been the smartest of Batman's sons and the most comfortable matching wits with the most sinister geniuses on Earth. Damian Wayne doesn't like feeling outsmarted. To him, no smugly written insult could ever be sharper than the sword. So when he's forced to infiltrate a supervillain gala alongside the sneaky Red Robin, the biggest danger that the two of them face might not be Lex Luthor, but Damian's own temper.
Maybe they can get around the whole Red Robin thing by calling him, use a double R, call him Round Robin, and use that costume.
Even for a self-contained Black Label book, you're still technically using the costume, which then cuts into Mark Waid, who originally debuted it in Kingdom Come. You're just swapping one licensing fee for another, you're just swapping a licensing fee for a royalty. Excuse me.
Technically, when Tim got the costume, it wasn't. He didn't make it himself. He took it from the Second Anarchy.
Jay, I sent you something on Twitter, by the way.
Oh, let me go ahead and look at that. Please continue, Nick, with the trivia.
Yeah, basically, if you read the final arc of Robin, which is now my favorite season at that point, it explains how he gets the costume and the fact that he also does on the ground, but there's still a couple. And then they have a crossover right after the both titles started, where Stephanie called his costume a Dr. Midnight ripoff costume.
I remember that issue.
And yet, here's the weird thing. That actually got reprinted in a new printing for Batgirl by Brian Q. Miller, the guy who wrote that book. They got a new printing, and they reprinted the issue.
They did.
And I think the only issue I can think of, I think they did reprint. I don't know if they reprinted lately, but there was one issue to tie into. I think it was there were a couple of issues tied to crossovers. One was crossover with Teen Titans, excuse me, and the other one was a crossover with Disney Comics called Judgment Gotham, a Azrael crossover,
That is true.
which ended with not long after this thing wrapped up, like Red Robin got canceled, Gotham City Sirens got canceled. Actually, it was tied to Batman because Batman got relaunched. Because Batman got relaunched after this thing wrapped up. Gotham City Sirens ended, and they split 3 characters up. I went to Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn went to Suicide Squad, and Catwoman got a solo book in. John Constantine Hellblazer, Dead in America. I think Science Spirit writes this book.
Yep. Issue 7 out of 11 issue maxi series. John is lost and not just asked for directions lost. He's lucky he can even identify what plane of existence he's on. With the enigmatic hitchhiker as his guide, John will have to find his way back to Nat and Noah. But when he does, he's finally going to have to explain that he's a walking corpse. This is Our Land, a Blue Beetle story. This is a self-contained graphic novel. We're just going to we'll go through this. Premier Chasing... Is that the Teen Titans? Is that the Titans 03?
Yes.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes.
She painted him on the wall.
Okay, nothing wrong with a little Easter egg every now and then. Let's check it out. Written by Jennifer Murrow and Thomas Koretsky. Apologies if I butchered that. This has got to be like what, the 3rd primer book?
Yeah.
I think this is just an artist who I think is supposed to be not straight. I think that's the premise of her. I'm not mistaken.
Ashley wants nothing more than to be taken seriously as a superhero. She can't help it that things don't always go as planned. And when the Teen Titans roll into town chasing after their infamous nemesis Deathstroke, Ashley will put her powers to the test to prove that Primer has what it takes to join the team. This was a perfect opportunity to just refer to the Slade. I'm sorry, censorship aside, you can't beat Ron Perlman's performance as Slade. You just can't.
Yeah. And how is it Deathstroke is not okay, but Butter Blood is?
Because it has literal death in the name.
Yes, but Deathstroke was a lot more better character than Butter Blood. Butter Blood was just an old man with cybernetic parts. Batman Howard, why is he publishing this book? I get the fact you don't like it, but
yeah,
let's skip this one.
Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries are pretty much all the same. You read one Scooby-Doo book, you've read them all.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we got some this is just the release schedule.
I wonder when there's any trades come out because we haven't seen any trades.
Let's see if they actually have any. Okay, there. Here they are. Batman
Joker
Volume 3.
1.
Okay. Batman City of Madness.
I think it's Jason Aaron's book. No, it's Christian Ward. Yeah, that was Jason Aaron's. Beast World
had potential, but kind of jumped the shark halfway through, for lack of a better term.
You could say unintentionally, indirectly, this is the reason for Absolute Power.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Beast World Tour, which is amalgamation of all the tie-ins.
Which they had a one-shot featuring Aquaman,
Power Girl,
Volume 1, Electric Dreams.
I like the cover art, but not a fan of the costume.
Birds of Prey, Volume 1, Megadeth.
Yeah.
Here's what I wanted to ask: when did Barda and Katana? I believe that's Katana.
No, that's a Wildstorm character. I believe that is what's her name?
Zealot,
thank you. This was released around the time of Wildstorm's 30th anniversary, because remember, Wildstorm was published in 1992.
So when did they become the Birds of Prey? I've always thought it was Black Canary, Batgirl, and Oracle Huntress.
Yes.
Big Barda joined in the book around issue 100 of the original volume. Cassidy Kane has had some loose association with the Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn guest starred some issues of the first volume, but she had very little connection with them. Black Canary and Barbara Gordon, the only people connected with the original Huntress, is not in this book. And I'm like, really? You have Black Canary, you have Batgirl, but no Huntress. And
I get
last part of my book, Huntress was there. This book, she's not here.
I get Harley for marketing reasons and Zealot because it was the 30th anniversary of the franchise DC had acquisitioned, but you easily could have fit Huntress in here.
Yeah, there's no reason why she can't join the team. Because this is about the same size as Miguel's summer book. Ooh, I think this is paperback hardcover. This one.
I want to say this is hardcover. No, it comes in both. Soft cover for $17.99, hardcover for $24.99.
Yeah.
Get the hardcover; it's worth it. World's Finest, Volume 4, Return to Kingdom Come. I'm sorry, this was hands down the best arc in the series. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, go ahead.
Well, because basically, Marker of the original story, of course, do a sequel to it. Probably a better sequel than The Kingdom.
We don't talk about the Kingdom.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ooh, the second trade for Action Comics. Let me guess. Collects Action Comics 1057, 1060.
1057 to 1059. The Doomsday Special and Night Terrors and the Night Terror tie-ins.
I'm surprised they clicked Action Comics 160 because that was Phil K. Johnson's last issue.
We do not speak of his name. We do not speak his name.
Yeah, but Phil Kennedy Johnson, I'm surprised the last issue is not there.
Check.
Wesley Dodd's Sandman by Robert Venditti. This was a good miniseries. I had my nitpicks, but this was a good miniseries, or at the very least, it had a decent ending.
Okay.
Yeah, that book was really good. I like the J. Garrett Flash. That miniseries is fine. I have no issue with this one being a miniseries. Wesley Dodds, I can see it will last a little longer because he is a fantastic character. He's had one in the past. Midnight Theater, written and drawn by Matt Wagner. 72 issues, and it's all in trade. It's an excellent series. I do recommend checking it out. It's awesome.
At least I got rid of the bloody exclamation mark.
The ending of this was okay, but can we all agree bringing this title back was not a good idea for DC?
No, it wasn't. I will give it this. It was better than the original in the mid-2000s setting up Countdown.
Yes.
It was.
At least we'll hear stories about issue 6 being returned to DC Comics. Did you hear about that?
Yep.
Batman Dylan Dog. The trade collects this 3-issue miniseries.
Okay. All-Star Batman by Scott Snyder.
Yeah, it's basically, I think it's like the whole series. It wasn't very long.
No, I want to say it was 5 issues if I remember correctly.
No, it was longer.
That's a comic I've got to pick up. All-Star
14
Batman.
issues because John Ray Jr. did the first arc, and then the other issues, like, there was one issue fucking Mr. Freeze, Ra's al Ghul. This book was amazing. The best way to describe this book is that it's the story Scott Snyder wanted to tell Batman, but couldn't. But he got this book. I heard one person that want to pick up the book because the first issue cover featured Batman with a giant batarang.
I would pick up All-Star Batman just because I've got All-Star Superman. I'm just like, might as well pick up All-Star Batman, right? And I would get it as a trade paperback, though, not a hardcover.
Joe Compendium. I think this is like the entire 70-issue book plus the annual, correct?
Wait, wasn't the Organs, the Cannibalistic Family, and Joker, or was that a separate family?
That's a separate family, I believe.
That was a separate family? Okay, just want to make sure. Because I'm about to say that Superman, the Triangle Era.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I heard about this. It's I was collecting some of the early stuff. Like, basic Triangle Area is the best way to describe it is basically the connect, because all the books in Superman books in the 1910s were all connected to each other. Like, one book, there's the next. There's always weekly. It's like Action, Superman, Adventure Superman, Man of Steel, all connected. I'm glad DC did this. Because for some people, this is their Superman. This era for Superman. People love this era.
Grant Morrison's Batman, okay.
Solid Batman run. Arguably one of the best in recent memory.
Yes.
Say what you will about Damian Wayne, but you cannot deny that this was a solid run when all was said and done.
Yeah, and I spoke to Tony and Stan about this. He loved working with Grant Morrison on this run. Because I brought me the sign for him. It was Batman R.I.P.
Batman Elseworld, Green Lantern. Nice.
Yeah, this is the new printing of the Elseworld stuff.
Elseworld,
Superman,
Superman.
new printing because it's 2024 editions with new printing of that. I think because they only just ran out of print not too long ago. Justice League. Oh yeah, Justice Writers. Uh, Fun fact about that particular one shot: the only time Chuck Dixon ever wrote Justice League, and the whole thing of the Western thing was all his idea, and it was his others because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that Chuck Dixon wrote an issue for this.
Okay, Elseworld, Superman. I see F-19. I see F-3. We 20th anniversary. Okay,
I don't know what that is. I know it's got Morris, but I've never read it.
is there anything else, Jay? Swamp.
Swamp Thing,
By Rick Bach. I don't think it's been collected before that I can think of.
Mad.
This run was the one that came after Alan Moore left the book.
Batman 66.
Omnibus. Ooh, I'm sure people will be buying this book like crazy. Even if it's expensive, $125. I'm sure people will probably buy it.
Batman
Because-
Incorporated.
Yeah, the entire issue series. I think it's the whole 12 issue series. $30 is not bad for a complete trade.
Yeah.
I think some company. I think if this was Marvel, this might be $40 for this.
At least 40. I'm gonna tell you that right now. At least 40.
Yeah,
World's Finest Pot.
actually,
World's
this trade
Finest.
here, I got this. I got the hardcover of that one.
I'm gonna get trade paperback for this one, but I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, the Arkham Saga Omnibus. I think this is like.
Ooh.
I think this is probably like maybe Arkham Asylum one shot, the Arkham Asylum miniseries, the Arkham City miniseries.
Yeah. So it says here the Arkham series of video games from Rocksteady Studios, including all the games are action backstories, beginning from Arkham Origins to Arkham Knight, Genesis, and everything in between. So it's basically everything, including WB Games Montreal's game.
I own this book. Batman Batman Gotham. I own this.
Tevia, this one's for you. Rebirth.
I own that one too. Batman and Gotham. I own the hardcover of that one. Don't like the fact they acknowledge the Tim Drake relationship with Bernard. Ooh,
Brave and the Bold.
Nice.
yeah, this is the third volume. I'm actually quite surprised they said new printing of this. Are you?
I'm surprised as well. I thought this would never get reprinted.
Because it's not the new printing in over 10 years. The series
Yes.
I think it was like 09, I think it was. It lasted for a few years.
Yeah.
And this is a weird thing. It lasted the same time as Marvel Team Up Volume 3.
Deceased. Oh, Supergirl.
Yeah, this is Tom Taylor's book.
Yep.
Death. I've never don't know what that is.
Is it?
Death is Neil Gaiman character.
Hmm.
This was a new printing of a different book. Ooh.
Flashpoint. Ooh, Flashpoint.
Wow. And here's a little fun fact. It's been 13 years since the series came out.
It is.
Green Lanterns by Jeff Johns.
Al
Nice.
Jordan Returns.
Yeah, I own the older printing of this book.
Green Lantern, Jeff Johns book 2.
Revenge of the Green Lanterns.
Yes. To anybody who loves Green Lantern, buy these two books and this book here. This era is amazing. Mid to late 2000s DC is awesome because early 2000s it was very rough. I can tell.
Okay,
Anyway.
next one, Jay.
Joker, Killer Smile, a graphic novel.
I actually read this. It's actually not that many.
Superheroes. Ooh, Alex Ross.
The whole 12-issue series.
Okay, this
Now,
had
this is,
for $30.
Wow.
now this is a book I'm gonna get.
Highly recommend.
By
Highly
Paul
recommend.
Dini, Alex Ross.
Yes.
I want that book.
I was talking to Jared about this. About Paul Dini working with Alex Ross. He was like, "Yeah,
Oh, highly recommend to a lot of you. Have no idea.
Billy, I actually
send me that."
book.
Jared, Jay, send me the title of the book in DMs, and then I can search it up on Google.
Okay, I got you.
So I can save it into my Amazon or eBay.
Nick, please continue while I handle this right quick.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not a 2024 edition of Justice.
There isn't actually.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Great
There is
series.
not.
Alex Ross writes and draws this whole series. It is a beautiful series, and I kind of wish. Now, this book I do own the hardcover of this one. It's
I'm
not
sorry.
bad. It just basically backed up Power 2 Titans.
Wildcat.
Jay, guess how much it is on Amazon?
150.
No, £26 for
And that's UK.
pre-order. That's UK, yeah.
Yeah. Wildcat, it's a complete series. Matthew Rosenberg. This is basically a spin-off of the from Urban Legends.
Zatanna and the Ripper. Apparently, this was
Webtoon.
Webtoon comic. Never mind.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yep. Oh, and the Jujutsu Kaisen and Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen, excuse me, cameoed in Nightwing 113.
Nice.
Lord have mercy.
Wow.
This was a good lineup.
Yet, but I don't remember him seeing there. Did it just come out today?
It just came out this week, yes.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet, so that's a surprise because who would have thunk a manga character would cameo in an American comic book like that?
It's an Easter egg. I mean, Joshua Williamson made Naruto references in Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I mean, like the feature the actual character as a cameo. Can you think of any other major comic company ever doing this? I think the reason why Tom King got away with this because it's 300 issues of Nightwing.
Yeah, more than likely.
I'm hoping that the issue includes all like Marvel does this thing, Marvel does a legacy, like include all the covers, like what covers are part of the numbering. I hope they do that for this issue.
I hope so too. But what'd you guys think of the lineup, guys? 2 hours and 12 minutes in.
It looks interesting.
It was interesting.
Whew.
I think the one thing I was surprised with for the trades was the Swamp Thing by Rick Vach. I did not expect that to be in a trade because, as far as I can tell, that era was not in trade very recently. I know they did do there was a collection of a writer that came after him. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Nancy Collins. They basically did an oversized book for her, but not for Rick Vach. And this is the guy who did the artwork for Alan Moore, and he took over for him. And fun fact, one issue of this run was actually collected in the very first trade for Hellblazer. It was the issue where Swamp Thing possessed John Constantine to sleep with his wife. Abigail.
I remember, Nick. I remember.
Yeah. And I'm sure John Constantine probably had no problem with it. Despite the fact what it constituted as is something we're not going to say, but you agree what it is, right?
Yes, I agree what it is, but I state claim no comment.
But I'm sure John Constantine would have no problem with that at all because I'm sure he probably find a lot of fun.
Again, no comment.
One thing I would love to know. I get Alan Moore does not like Hollywood adaptations of his characters. But how does he feel about the Matt Ryan, John Constantine? Because of the two, I've not seen the Constantine movie. I've not seen the Keanu Reeves. I've not seen that. But Matt Ryan's John Constantine is absolutely amazing. It's like, not only appearance-wise, but the way he does the character, it's like he just walked to the comics.
Excuse me. It's a solid performance. Don't get me wrong, but if I had to, and I would even argue he's better. His performances are better than Keanu Reeves to certain degrees.
At least played more than once.
But you could tell the first Constantine movie was a one and done. You could tell that.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to call it Hellblazer, but they changed to Constantine in order to avoid confusion with Hellraiser. The Pinhead series.
Yep, I remember.
I have not seen the Marvel Solicitations yet, so I have not. I don't know what's being solicited.
And
so
if I'm being honest, okay. Tell you what, if y'all can get me to 300 subscribers before the end of the year, I will not only do a Marvel Solicitations.
Here's a little something you might be surprised about, Jay Heath.
Okay.
I'm at 298 subscribers.
Congratulations.
Yep. So I recommend several Marvel titles, Dave. You check them out. I think I
Yes, I
recommend
have.
you Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Avengers.
Mhm.
Well, you can probably include Immortal Thor. It's really interesting, despite the fact that I mentioned to you that the Loki is drawn like a woman, despite the fact this is the male version of the character. But it's Al Ewing. The book is amazing because it's Al Ewing. Like, the only book of his I read that I think was as good as Air books was his Rocket series.
I might go into the Marvel Ultimate Universe and just check that out because I heard it's actually selling pretty well, especially with Spider-Man. But as for the main continuity books, the main 616, I would have to be fan requested to actually do that again. I am completely burned out from main Marvels.
How about
Secret.
She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell? That book
I
is
might
actually really good because that book is actually feminine, unlike the TV show.
But
Yeah, and
I was
writers wrote the She-Hulk TV show. The She-Hulk comic is better than you.
well. To be fair, the TV show was written by a bunch of wine moms. The comic is actually genuine.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Rainbow Rowell is a novelist.
Yes.
That's okay because for some reason in the last 20 years, instead of bringing writers from college, they get novelists to write the books. Greg Hurwitz is a good example of somebody who actually did successfully. Ray Rowe is one of the very few who've been doing it. The other been Max Allen Collins. You are thinking, what books did he write? He wrote the CSI novels. The novels tie into the TV show. He wrote pretty much almost all of them. That's what he wrote. Aside from writing those issues Batman, which we'll talk about that later. That book is
Okay.
actually really good. I actually love that book.
Other than that, Jay, here, I think this was a very good stream. Um, Definitely, guys, if you haven't checked out the books, make sure you check out the DC Solicitations and pick them up when you from your local comic book local comic book store, and if you can't, then pick them up online on eBay or Amazon, and you'll get it cheaper that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, Jay, do you want to let us out if you and finish up?
Sure. Any final thoughts you guys have before we go to promotions?
Not really. I just thought it was a great stream.
Okay. As for what I got coming up on my channel, what if Scion was in the Decamu? That is going to be wrapped up and hopefully premiere, if not tonight, then sometime tomorrow afternoon. So that'll go live. Stay tuned for my Dragon Age playthrough, Mass Effect Saturdays, as well as any New Direction verse tie-ins if I can actually get those videos in this week. So stay tuned on that. Anime Blaze Fire Force Season 2 has been pushed back, but we will get that to you in the future, as well as Blazing Shonen for Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero news.
Yeah, if you're curious why it was delayed, Jay Heat basically had a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And there's no helping it. The guy's working on his master's, right, Jay Heat?
Yep, and I actually graduate this May, so almost there.
And, as Jay Heat did say, yes, Blazing Shonen will return. We are going to do a live stream for that. We are going to be talking about Sparking Zero's latest news. That is, they are bringing back some Dragon Ball Z characters, including Kid Gohan, Teen Gohan, I believe, Adult Gohan, Piccolo, Master Roshi GBZ version, and also Trunks, and there's a few more characters in there. There will be a trailer that will be dropping soon. So myself and Jay Heat will be doing a reaction to that once it drops.
Okay, and anything you guys like to promote before we wrap up?
Yes.
Okay.
So on my channel, guys, there will be a live stream on the 10th of May where it will be me and a couple of members where we'll be doing a reaction to Lego Batman the movie, which is going to be a reaction stream. And thanks to Ruth who has suggested that to me. So that is the case with that. And also, I'm going to be on Jared's channel tomorrow, which is Thursday, where we're going to be where he'll be playing Batman Arkham Knight. So I'll be on his channel. I'm going to make sure he fails as he drives the Batmobile or the Tankmobile. Yeah, he fails. He makes the car turn over. So I'm gonna make sure that happens. And
I still haven't played Arkham Knight. But I've seen a walkthrough of it. It's an amazing looking game, and I can tell that the Batmobile looks very hard to drive.
yeah, let's
Oh, it
just
is
say
a pain. It is
let's
a
just say,
pain.
let's
And
just
the
say
fact all you do with it is you basically fire a
let's,
gun at tanks.
let's just say Jared isn't as a master as I am. That's what I can say. Um,
Like it's like they wanted this for years. Like, hey, you can finally jump the Batmobile in a Batman game,
and
and you shoot tanks.
yes, and
I'm like,
also got
that seems like a waste of time to do.
and also on my channel, guys, I will be doing a another live stream, and this time we'll be talking about Summer Game Fest predictions. Yes, we'll be talking about predictions for Summer Game Fest,
Ooh.
where we'll be talking about DC games, Marvel games, and we'll be even talking about other things too. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be covering in in that
Excuse
in
me.
in that live stream. So like Marvel Rivals, we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about the Wonder Woman game. We'll be talking about potentially maybe we'll be talking about the Wolf Among Us. We'll be talking about the future of other things too, and also into the multiverse at DC Comics podcast will be returning because we have to cover Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. That will be on the podcast alongside the Joker DLC, and furthermore, we gotta be talking about some news in regards to the Joker movie, and yes, there'll be a lot more other things to come. Comics as well. So we'll be talking about some of the comics I've been picking up. So stay tuned for that. But while Jay Heat's gone, Super Wonderful Life. Better than Wonder Bat. Super Wonderful Life. Wonder Bat sucks. And the fact that Zois is for life. That's all I gotta say. And Tevya, post Rebirth sucks. That's me. That's just me. Jay Heat, I don't think he's there. I think he's left us. I think he's left us, guys.
I'm back.
Jay Heat's not here. Have you got anything you want to promote?
Yes, I have some couple videos coming tonight. I'm hoping to I have a few anime today. Konosuba's dub premiere today.
Right.
I'm looking forward to watching that because we first watched anything of the present series since the movie that I watched 4 years ago.
Konosuba's on his third season, correct? Third,
Yes.
fourth season?
Third season.
Okay.
They're adapting
And
to book 6.
I will go into more details in my actual review of Crisis. I actually watched it, and I heard there was some controversy about some desaturation online, but again, I didn't have that experience when I played it off Apple TV. But ultimately, it's serviceable. It does move the plot along what the setup for part 3, but it was a little basic in execution, in my opinion.
What was the controversy?
The controversy is how, based on how the movie looked on social media platforms, the colorization was off, the animation was blurry. Basically, depending on where they watched or where they bought the thing from, they had issues with it. Now, again, I didn't have that problem, but I've seen a lot of people online who claim to have had that
I've been
problem.
severely behind on the DC movies. Last movie I watched was Killing Joke. I probably will eventually get a chance to watch movies, but who knows? But
yeah, it's serviceable, but again, I'll go into more detail on my actual review.
I think you said this is the finale for the Tomorrowverse movies.
Yeah, the Tomorrowverse
Yes.
movie is going to be shelved for James Gunn's DCU, excuse me, depending if it even
Yes.
gets off the ground. But
I think
so
I think it was a shorter period of time than the original movies they did.
So this was a 10 movie arc, basically the Tomorrowverse. So you had the Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Then you had the 2 Batman films. The Justice
Hush,
Society, the Justice
Long
Society,
Halloween.
Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. That's 2 films. Then you had the Justice Society film. Then you had, I believe, Justice League Warworld. No, you
mm-mm.
had
As far as I can tell, for Justice JSA, I think it was just their first anime feature they ever had,
Yes, it is.
which
Justice
is
Society.
strange. You
Adam,
find
the
that
Adam,
weird?
that is weird. The Adam Strange short, which directly carried over into the Tomorrowverse, the House of Mystery showcase, the House of Mystery short in a DC showcase, Green Lantern Beware My Power, Justice League War World, excuse me,
And was
and
that a patient of Philip K. Johnson's saga?
that did feel like that, if I'm being honest.
after
That
Justice
saga
League.
actually practically saved the comic.
After Justice, you should have the thing on your thing computer, Jay, here of all the Tomorrowverse stuff.
Okay, let me just look over this right quick.
Oh, yeah, the Legion of Superheroes. Yes.
Oh, I
Green
knew there
Lantern.
was one I was forgetting.
The Legion of
And
Superheroes. Go on.
breaking news: Velma season 2 premieres tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
Ooh, I heard that series is off. I heard the series
Well,
is awful.
Let's leave it on a good note, shall we? Shall we leave it on a good note?
indeed, I'm just trolling. Indeed. Well, everybody.
Superman and Lois season 4 has finished wrapping up, so we will be getting a trailer pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. That's the good news.
I regret nothing. This was fun. Gentlemen, thanks again for coming on. I'm truly grateful. And thank you all to actually supporting me and getting to 220 subscribers. I actually will have a milestone video planned in the future. I don't know what it'll be yet.
And he's still got to do the Gotham Knights reaction stream. He promised us.
All right, well, we'll finish Gotham Knights. But I'll definitely finish that. But again, I've been busy with work. Graduation's approaching. I'll have a lot more free time. But part 2 of the Gotham Knights review is in the works.
Not review. You have to react to it on stream and talk about it.
Okay. And you know what? Let's have a wager. If y'all can get me to 300 subscribers before the end of the year, I have to react to Velma both seasons.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Let's get it up to 300.
I have not watched Velma, but I heard it's an awful series.
Oh, it is god awful. It is god awful.
Which begs the question: why the heck did the Warner Bros. Even greenlit this in the first place?
Because it was a mini killing vanity project. Oh, let's just grab Scooby Doo on it and call it a day.
It's Warner Brothers. Suck it, Warner Brothers.
If only I had that clip. But you heard it here first, folks. If y'all give me the 300 before the end of 2024, I will react to Velma both seasons. But with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. Good night, everybody. Whoa!